Happy full moon in Libra, everyone. Oh, I've got playback on your.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'll just do this for now. Happy full moon in Libra, everyone. I hope that you're having a wonderful day, wonderful session. And as you can see, we welcome back Mo for this live. If you've been here a while, then you know Mo is a former NBA player, and this is maybe his like 6th or 7th time joining us on the channel. Because every time he's here, he brings such beautiful insights that I know so many of you deeply resonate with, including myself. I've seen your emails, your messages. So we're really looking forward to having Mo with us today. And then we're going to bring some of you guys on as well, if anyone feels aligned to come on through resonance. I'm sure that there's going to be something in here for you to reflect on, reflect with, and sit with. It's a very, very powerful full moon just in general. Being inside of the system, everything's going to find you exactly as it needs to. And if I... let me see it real quick. Take a look at the transits for this Libra full moon. And even if we just talk about it as a law of one perspective, it's all to do with the relationships. It's to do with, I'm also hearing your relationship with the material plane. So it's not even just relationships outside of yourself. So every relationship that you have, every interaction, every emotional response that you're having is not random. It's you meeting yourself in another form, just like we're all doing here in this place. It's a dynamic between yourself and the other. And you're experiencing yourself through these many different points of awareness. So thank you, Mo, for joining us today.
No problems. I appreciate you. Thanks for having me. It's
a pleasure.
As always.
So how are you feeling with this full moon vibe? How are you feeling now having had moved through eclipse season and settling into the new year? Because I feel like, when did we last speak? We spoke on the equinox, right? On the day of
the 20th,
yeah. How the Aries season energy been settling in for you?
It's been a bit rocky for me, to be honest, but I'm definitely like in a better place in terms of just being able to recognize where, like, I would say different things were creating leaks, or my own personal leaks and stuff like that. So I would say, just if I had to compare this to last year, I feel like I can definitely feel where I can actually make adjustments a lot faster now. I don't know if that's because of just because of my own personal growth or whatnot, or just I would say the help and the aid that I feel like I've been receiving from my guides and whatnot. But nonetheless, it's been great. It's just been such polar opposite energy that I've been experiencing. Somehow in my mind, we think about new heaven, new earth. We kind of have this idea that where it's going to just be all beautiful thing, all beautiful people, all beautiful scenarios. But for me, it's been pretty much operating and growing through the polar opposite type of energy. So it's been a bit of a challenge, but at the same time, I've been able to just take the challenge head on and just make adjustments as I go in terms of just my whereabouts, my energy, and who I'm spending time with, how long I'm spending time with different people. And I feel like in the last couple of days, I really had to just come back and check in with myself and really catch up with myself, because I found myself really just kind of just externalizing too much, trying to fix this, trying to do this. I got the to-do list and things I need to take care of. But it was almost like once I took a second to turn my phone off, completely unplug, and really just give to myself, I found things began to work out a lot smoother. A lot of things started to come in, and so I've been rolling in that regards. But yeah, it's been pretty cool, man. But the other day I experienced something I can't say I've never experienced it before, but I've experienced something that I haven't experienced in a while in terms of what I've seen in the sky. And we could talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, it's been a ride for sure. How about yourself?
I would love to hear about what it is that you saw, because I don't remember if you remember when I told you Neptune and Saturn moving into your rising sign of Aries, like Aries risings in general, and just the Aries energy is like the veil is becoming very, very thin for you, because Neptune is like otherworldly experiences, it's like dimensions, and Saturn is also the tangible. So it's where interdimensional otherworldly things are dwelling between the realms of the form and the formlessness. So like contact experiences, seeing, the fact that you have gone through a refinement period, especially just moving through Pisces season and the end of 2025 and numerical 9, and you're sending into a high octave where you're essentially able to now perceive things within this spectrum of light. It's like you're tuning into an entirely new bandwidth of frequency. And these are things that are always coexisting within your field, but you're now able to perceive these things. It's like you're now in a frequency where you're on the same wavelength. So I feel like that's why that's very, very interesting.
All right, well, shit, yeah, you hit the nail on the head. So basically, the other night on Monday, I want to say it's Monday or Tuesday night, one of those nights. It was crazy. So I was out, and it wasn't a full moon yet, but you could tell it was starting, becoming, it was on its way. So what I saw, I go back a couple years ago, like 2022. I remember seeing the Venus and the moon conjunction in the skies one time.
Yeah,
but I saw how small like Venus was. It was like really small, but I was able to see it and capture it on the phone. Fast forward to the other day, I saw somewhat similar to the same thing, but the orb that I saw outside of the moon was almost just as big as the moon. So I saw this orb going in and out of the moon, and it was sitting in the moon, and it'll do this little dance, and it would like literally like kind of just pulsate, and it would come all the way back out, and it kept doing it. I literally sat there for hours and watched it. And then, the crazy thing about the whole ordeal was I kept asking people around me, did they see the same thing? And it was like, nobody saw it. I was just like, I'm looking dead at it. It was like, no, well, that's just a reflection. It was only there was 2 other people who saw what I saw. And I'll keep it honest with you. They were really, I would say, lighthearted type of individuals. I've ran into one of them before, and he's always kind of like a real genuine, sweet type of dude. So I don't know anyway, what I saw was what I saw, and then I moved the location. I'm like, maybe it's just me. Maybe I need to go somewhere else. So I kept going somewhere else, and I just kept seeing this big ass orb just kind of just going into the moon, doing a little thing for maybe a minute, and coming all the way back out. And I'm just sitting here looking. I keep asking people, and nobody saw it. I'm just like, what is going on? And I was able to pretty much today come up with my own explanation on what that was for myself in terms of what that meant. But yeah, that's what I saw the other day, and it was kind of crazy because I've seen orbs in the sky before, and I've seen them, for great periods of time, but I've never seen it dance with the moon the way I've seen that before. It was like, it was so obvious, and I was just like, it was mind blowing. So at that point, I just pretty much just made a wish and went from there. But that was crazy.
Wow. That's so beautiful. And it's so interesting because I was just decoding a message on this the other day, and the moon in general is like a reflection of the sun. So it's almost like there's something being illuminated within. I'm almost seeing it as like a projection of your own subconscious field and some kind of intercommunication that's happening with you, where there's some type of energy or information which you're receiving or you're able to tune in during this time.
Right.
And the message I was getting is that we're entering into a time where our actual biology and our physical nature is coming back into harmonic order. The more that we connect with ourselves, the more that we connect with this earth, we realize that things externally aren't just happening to them, but it's a reactivation of our DNA where we're able to access these higher ranges of ourself. And because you're able to do that, that's why you can tune into things on this field. It reminds me of being in a time dilation bubble, where I'll give you an example of being at Palenque. I think last week, I was seated by the river bed, and it was like off the complete normal path that you're on. So we went down and we went to go and sit by a river, and it felt like we were just in this kind of time warp element, and no one could see us. Everyone was passing by. We were hidden in plain sight, and we were like, anyone that's on the frequency is going to be able to perceive us. And there was one dude that was walking by, and he was like a tour guide there, and he looked at Stephanie and I and was like, oh, welcome home. Because it wasn't our first time there. We've been there, seated in that river across many lifetimes. And what I was seeing was the expansion of DNA, where we've been operating through our most basic strands, and now we are building the ones in our physical body, right? We're becoming aware of us being creators in the system and that multidimensionality aspect that has always been there. And as this system shifts itself when it comes to these solar flares that we've been receiving, we're moving into a high octave, and our range of perception also begins to expand with that. So we're beginning to feel more. This is a time where collectively we're all beginning to sense more. We're beginning to really just remember more. And it's not something that we're learning, but it's something that's already encoded into our body in which we're remembering. So we're tuning into frequencies, the deeper that we meet ourselves. And you're someone that goes into like meditation, you've grown a significant amount of gray matter in the brain. So you're able to actually sustain and hold this expanded awareness. So you're grounded, and you're able to tune into the interface of the intelligent plasma universe that you've existed in, or that you exist in. And your vessel is like actually able to process that in the physical. So it just feels like this is something in resonance, and more of us are going to be able to tune into things like this the deeper that we meet ourselves. So that would be.
Yeah. That's funny you say that too, because obviously, just I want to go back to what you said earlier about how the veil has been, pretty much lifted in many ways, and it's almost kind of scary a little bit. I was like, wow, how real it really is. Maybe it's not scary to my soul or my spirit, my true divine self, but the human version of myself was kind of like, I wasn't even thinking about the veil being thin like that, but I was just more so kind of like putting together what some of the stuff meant for myself. So for it to happen during this time period, what it really did for me, for real, it just made me just help. I'm like, you know what, let me shape up even more. You know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and realize that there's nothing more important than our own personal energy field, and how we're protecting our energy and utilizing our energy and how we're cultivating it and maintaining our energy space at this time. Because it's like it's more important than ever, and that's one of the things I really want to stress on this live, is how important it is for us to actually do a fantastic job at balancing out our whereabouts, who we're spending time with, the things that we're putting in our body. All of these things matter, and I'm not speaking from a place of just being holier than thou, because I'm not perfect at all, but I'm just speaking from a place of being out here, being in the game. Sometimes we had a party the other night, so we had some drinks. So it's funny because even when you drinking nowadays, it just feels like it's not the same at all, So it's just one of those things where I'm opting to kind of stay away from it, because I realize how sensitive it can be and how dangerous it can be to our field at this point, when there's so many different transcendental energies roaming around, because the veil is pretty much thin. So anybody out there that's listening, make sure you protecting yourself. This is probably not the best time to be indulging in anything that's going to be mind altering in the ways that are I would say toxic, so to speak. Obviously, people want to do their shrooms, people want to do their mushroom, or whatever psychedelics or whatever you're on. But I would say be a lot more careful and cautious during this time period. Do it with mindfulness. Don't do it just because you feel like it's something that you want to do for a sense of pleasure, but do it for mindfulness at this present time, because it's that important. Because we've really moved into that time period where the energetic time split on this planet is here. It's no more when is it coming, when is it happening. We're literally living in that time space where either you on the path of growth, enlightenment, evolving, or you just literally just falling into a vortex. Because I'm watching souls and people literally get stuck in certain vortexes that is going to be very hard for them to get out of, because once again, the density is not going anywhere. But what I will say is, what Spirit is bringing into me, the spiritual energy itself is going places where you have to be in alignment with that in order for you to actually cope in this reality. It's not, it has nothing to do with romanticizing the new earth. It has everything to do with you being able to live in the new earth and live here successfully without being fried up, because your central nervous system is at state at this point. So, I mean, I would never tell anybody to do something just because it sounds cool. That doesn't even resonate with me no more. But I'm telling people to literally, clean out your field so that you can actually live in this resonance and live in it properly and grow with it properly. Because the last thing you want to do is allow yourself to fall to low vibrations at this stage, because it's not as pleasant as it was at one point, because we had such leeway over these years to kind of play around, fuck around, this, that, and the other. But now I'm literally telling people it's best that, especially if you're spiritual being on this path, we've heard the old phrase, straddling the fence, and this is the time where you might want to go ahead and choose a side in terms of your spiritual growth and development. This isn't fear. This is me giving you the truth. This is what I've been able to see. This is what I've been led to come back and share with others, just because of my experience and what I've been able to see and witness at this stage.
I couldn't agree more with what you said. And even when we speak about it just from a law of one perspective, there is nothing outside of you or a force that's acting on you, but it's only consciousness interacting with itself through different frequencies. And literally what you were explaining, Mo, is that when it comes to like substances or even people, right, or certain, let's say, actions, events, or timelines, or even environments that we're immersing ourselves into, it's not that it's ever doing something to you, but it's revealing to you what it is that you're resonating with. So everything that you engage in is a form of resonance. It's literally a meeting point within the field. So it's not even about like what is affecting you. It's more about what am I in resonance with right now? What kind of people am I choosing to engage with? What kind of timelines am I entertaining? Because if something clouds your field, I'm getting like full body chills right now, or it lowers your awareness, or it pulls you out of presence. It's about recognizing the frequency that's not aligned and the version of yourself that you're becoming. And from the the law of one perspective, the power is not in avoiding the world, but it's becoming so aware and so coherent that nothing can like override your field. Nothing can pull you out. Everything you interact with it's meeting you at a frequency. So that energetic hygiene is reflecting your highest clarity. Even at the end of every day, when we talk about like meditation, just clearing your relationship with the matrix as a whole to completely neutralize the field. And a huge thing that I've been speaking about even behind the scenes, like a lot that's actually going to be coming out this week and surfacing, which is very in alignment with what you're speaking about now, is our relationship as spiritual beings with the material plane. Like, how are we co-creating with the material plane, and what physical experiences are we choosing to have, and what is the frequency of that? So you're creating your experience. Do you want to create something that is like, do you feel like also we need something outside of ourselves in order for us to feel peace? Whether that's for someone to stop doing something, whether that is that we need to have this thing in order for us to find peace. Can we find peace within ourselves and become our own source to the point where we don't need anyone outside of ourselves? We don't need anything outside of ourselves. We are total sovereign beings, and we choose what it is that we want to merge with. We choose what it is that we want to interact with.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so true. I'm glad you said that too, because it's like, sometimes I do find myself being in environments where, like if I go out or something like that, I always find myself meeting somebody that's spiritual. We always end up having some deep conversations. And so it's crazy that these things happen, because like these be individuals. Like I met a young guy, man. His name is Drake, very bright dude. And someone told me to go out. I woke up at 4:30 in the morning the other day. I was just like, whatever. And I just walked down the street, and I went to my friend's place, so he got a little after hour bar or whatever. I went over there, and I ran into this guy, Drake, and me and him spoke for the whole entire morning, all the way to the next day. And all we was building on was, spiritual consciousness. But I've realized like, oh, my spirit pushed me to go there to go have this conversation with this young man who's actually literally working to find himself in, in his consciousness. So he wasn't tripping. So it was almost like, dang, like sometimes like, how life will push us to be in like in certain dark environments in order for us to go and, be a light. Because I mean, where else are we meant to be lights at this present time? But going back to what I was saying about the orb, right? So I got something that was crazy this morning. I was like, okay, the way I was going in and out of the light, I'm just like, basically that was a reflection of my light showing that, okay, this is how you're dancing in and out of darkness and light. Because a lot of times when I saw it going out of the orb again, it would go far away from it, but it always go back. I was like, damn, that looks like life for me at times. It's like where, where we're in darkness, but you always find yourself back to your center space. So,
yeah, I love that analogy, because it's like it's always coming back to your center, and that's something that you're able to do. It's like, yeah, you go out, you interact within this field, right? You are remembering who you always are. It's like as you disconnect from the matrix and you reconnect to what it is that you truly are, you are the field of infinite potential experiencing itself.
Sure.
You're able to come back to your center even while immersed within, if you want to say, lower vibrational environments. But it's like you're not necessarily low vibrational because you're translating or transforming your thoughts to it, the reason why you're there. If you know why you're somewhere, just as a spiritual being having a human experience, your intention grounds you. Like that becomes part of your purpose at that stage of your journey, and it's always in benefit of evolution. So it's like that, you know why you're there, you know the frequency in which you bring, you know the awareness that you're able to bring to that field, and you also bring that out of people as well.
Yeah, for sure. And and that's kind of pretty that's crazy. That's kind of always been my skis, like for years. It don't matter what it was. It's like I could be at a party and somehow it always end up being spiritual. You know what I'm saying? It just end up being that for the most part. So yeah, it is that dance between the light and dark, and then realizing that we are having this human experience and how it really does correlate with, okay, because it stayed in the light for a while at times. I'm like, okay, where did it go? I'm waiting for it to come back out. So it's like at times we got to stay in the light a little bit longer. And not to say that we're not the light, but I was still the light while I was in the light, but I was still the light while I was in darkness too, as I was perceiving this thing. So man, this is powerful, because this is a stage in life where I feel like we really truly we've gotten to this stage in our human experience to be able to experience these type of phenomenons, right? And it's sometimes I'm a loss for words, but what it really does is just give me, once again, this cosmic confirmations of who we are and what we're doing here, and that there's no mistakes that we're in this reality. And once again, there's no mistakes that I was the only one that pretty much saw it, And you know what else it showed me? Not everybody see our light. People might understand that we might be a light, but they don't always see our light. So it's like for them not to see that, but it was only 2 people out of like 40 people I asked. I'm like, oh snap, okay. Here we go.
That is so on point. I'm going to have like a whole session coming out on that, like why higher dimensional beings can see lower dimensional beings, but why lower dimensional beings can't perceive higher dimensional beings. And it's because when something spins really, really fast to the point where it becomes invisible. That is what happens when it comes to your vortex. One, your energy moves in a centripetal state, and it is the light that always folds back in on itself. It's the awareness. You are a fractal of awareness within the system. You begin to behave very differently, and you're literally operating on a wavelength that some people, they can't perceive. So that's really, really interesting. And another thing that I wanted to speak about from what you said was not underestimating the power of the yin life force, because I was receiving like a lot of messages this past like maybe 2 weeks, basically since we last spoke, and it was a lot to do with the masculine and the feminine, where the masculine is this physical vessel, right? It's like a container, and the feminine, the soul, incarnates into this container, and it begins to animate this experience. They both need each other, and without the soul, like the body is lifeless, right? It's just like it's a character. And what I was seeing was time itself is a stargate, and this system, this construct in which we've designed to experience ourselves through, invites us into deeper awareness, right? It's not here to trap us, but it's here to offer us perspective. So that is us remembering that we are quantum beings. We have this internal compass that guides us through these timelines. And these things are very normal. When we talk about like interdimensional experiences or seeing the moon shift or, connecting with you, which is literally everything in the system, whether that come in the form of a table, a camera, whatever, you are literally everything. You are consciousness experiencing itself through infinite mediums. And that's what it is. That's what we're tuning back into. It's like that veil is becoming thinner, and it's harder to see yourself as separate from anything. So when you return to what's real, right? And what's really real is that this is a world of energy. This is a world built from intention. And when you gather your life force back, you begin clearing your connection to the matrix, and you begin to reconnect with source, and you release the belief system that comes with you over identifying with the physical, and you begin to become whole again. So when our attention is from the external to internal, we begin to become grounded in our body again. We begin to become our own mother, we become our own father, which leads to the child, it leads to creation. So what you were speaking about, the emotional field becoming clear, is super important. It's something that we're being guided to. It's like we're being guided back to ourselves. And when we see ourselves clearly, we see this world clearly.
Yeah. How would you like tie that all into like different challenges that we experience as we come back into ourselves? Because I've definitely been dealing with like some tricky challenges. They got any challenges that's like obvious. They just kind of like real subtle. You know what I'm saying? So you got to actually pick up on them and recognize them.
Yeah. So I've definitely been experiencing that as well. And for me, I don't see it as a challenge now. I see it as more of an invitation, where I'm being invited to hold space for myself, be patient with myself. I'm realizing that it's less about me holding space for anyone or anything outside of myself, but more holding space for me. And as I begin to do that, I also can naturally hold space for others. And that's what it is to become whole. That's what it is to become healed. That's what it is to give yourself what it is that you need most in this moment. And that is about, for me, it's been about becoming my own best friend. Like, what truly would I do as my own best friend? Like, do I give myself grace when I need it? Do I give myself compassion when I need it? And within those moments, within those interactions, like thinking that you need anything outside of yourself, when really you are, I'm hearing, your own permission slip. Like, you are your own seal of approval. You are your own everything. If you can learn to become your own source, you can feel grounded. For me, it's always coming back to my intention around why I'm here. And my intention is something that immediately grounds me. And also just doing like check-ins, like reality check-ins of knowing, okay, maybe you just need silence. Maybe it is time to retreat back to your inner world. And then when you do engage with the external, you see it for what it is, which is an energetic hologram. Like, it's a projection. And the more that I remind myself, okay, this is an illusion, it immediately just brings me back into neutrality, no matter how, I almost want to say like highly rendered a situation is, or how tumultuous a situation may be. It's like, okay, I know what's mine. I know what it is that I'm experiencing within this lens. And I can also hold space for what another individual may be moving through, or what the world may be moving through, or collective systems may be moving through, and realize, okay, we may just be experiencing, as you said, like that timeline split or that timeline shift, where your journey on earth may look very different during this time than those around you. And that's okay. It's not that there is a right journey or there is a wrong journey, but it's just, that's what I've been seeing, like holding space for the contrast and the paradox of this system.
For sure. No, that's real. That's 100% for sure.
So should we bring some people on?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Why not?
Or is there anything that you want to talk about first?
Oh no, I think we covered it. I feel like some people might want to chime in on that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Joe, you need to get back up here, Joseph. I don't know when you went backstage. We're gonna bring on Angela.
Hi.
It's so nice to have you back.
Hello.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, and thanks for all of your messages. They're, of course, it's like you're speaking directly to me every time at this point. I feel like I'm like, yep, I'm right in this wavelength. This is all me. And it's interesting because I haven't really, as far as like what you were just talking about with like reality reflecting you, I've still really been in hermit mode. So I don't really see many people. My partner is totally different frequency. It's so obvious. Like we can both feel it. And I'm kind of waiting to see what happens, I guess. Like he's kind of coming around a little bit more than what he was when I first started to go through like my awakening. And I did go and have a energetic clearing done on him, spirit release therapy. And that has helped tremendously. Like his biofield was 10%, his grounding shield was 7%. He had like 81 implants, he had imposter soul guides. So I knew before I had that done that like he had something that was holding him down, because it was very obvious to me, like when I would have conversations with him, how quickly he would respond. And I'm like, and then he would think about it and be like, I don't know why I said that. And I'm like, yeah, like his brain was immediately blocking out anything, you know, like against his belief system. And so that's changed, and he's more open and more accepting and less attacking me, I guess, when I try to talk about things like new things that I'm interested in, is basically what I keep it at. Oh, I learned this today, or hey, this is really cool, because when I was trying to do it other ways, it wasn't going over well. So I have to be careful about what I share, but it's just been an interesting experience, because I have always felt like him and I were like the same person before I even knew, well, we are all one and it is a reflection of me. I kind of felt that way before, like I somehow knew him in another life. And so now watching it play out is like, are we real? Like, what does he have left to teach me? Hi, sorry, now I have a visitor. This is a magical kitten, Sam. Say hi, Sam.
Hi, Sam.
Sam, hey. What's up, Sam?
It's been an interesting time. And I'm like, I don't know if I need to move, because like what you were just saying, you're going to be talking soon about like when people are very different frequency, eventually they just don't see each other. Well, he already doesn't listen to me a lot, and he doesn't try to interact as much as he used to. So I can tell like his attention is fading, but like at the same time, we still do talk and interact a little bit. It's just a very strange situation. And I don't know, like, what are your thoughts? Is it something where am I going to be like trapped from like, I don't know, evolving because he's here pulling me down? Because I know how that works. If he's lower and I'm higher, my frequency is automatically going to like help raise him sometimes, which is fine. Like I'm here to help. But I don't want to be tethered to an older version of me, because I'm behaving very differently, and that does confuse him some. And I always just remind him, like, I have a different belief system now. That's not true for me anymore. And I'm very like in my truth, and I'm not going to hide it. And I know it makes him uncomfortable, but I understand that in order for me to stay like grounded in myself, like that's always been important to me anyway, even before like this final awakening. So I don't know, because a lot, when you did my reading, that was the big thing that you talked about. You were like, it's important that you can be yourself and not hide yourself. And so I've been very firm on that with him. And I mean, he works 12-hour days, like 4 or 5 days a week sometimes. So I have a lot of alone time so that I can like be strong when he's around. That way, if he is a drain, it's not, like damaging in any way, I don't think. Hi. Yes, I know. But I don't know. I'm just curious, is like, he just signed a year lease at this house in the state that we're in now. And I kind of agreed to stay around because when he works 12 hours, he has 3 animals. He can't be away for 12 hours. So I'm kind of like, the cat nanny is what he calls me now. And so I can still go out and do my own thing as long as I'm here to like take care of the animals. But I have like lots of plans and lots of goals and lots of dreams, and I've been planting lots of seeds. So I don't know if I'm supposed to be like waiting for one of those to just manifest. Like, does that how it works, where you just get like this thought one day, it's like, go apply at this place today, and then you're like, okay, because I've transformed my life many times, but I've always been controlling it and doing it and pushing and creating with my brain, rather than, being, okay, let's let the universe work magic. I would much rather have the magic. I just don't really know how it works because my brain
Do you
also never
feel, sorry,
stops.
do you feel like, because the more you speak, the more I see that you've already made your mind up, like you've already made a decision. It's like the soul has already, it's already settled within that. It's more of the physical. And there was a message that was coming through for you when you were speaking. And it was, let me see if it comes back around. It was it's not about indecision. It's about where you said about feeling like things are blocked, or feeling like you take charge of your reality and feeling like you can't really take charge. I feel like that comes from a sense of a frequency gap between inaction, because you know it, like you already have the intentions. It sounds like you've already made up your mind and you're literally seated at the precipice right now.
Yeah, like I'm ready to leave. I just don't have a way to get anywhere is the big thing. Like I moved here without a job. So it's like, I know I'm not going to just go and pick a job because that's not the way to go. So I'm kind of like building my own thing, but that takes time to like go. So
Yeah.
and I'm grateful to be where I'm at. Like I'm grateful for him to not be kicking me out, even though the relationship is over, because he kind of went there at first.
Yeah.
And now he's more like backed up, like, so I'm not gonna be like homeless. But last week I was literally like, okay, I'll go check out the homeless shelters, and I'm like, LA's it's a rough city, it's gonna be some rough people, but I could do this, like it'll be fine. That's kind of where I was last week when I fell into my like, you know, inner child despair, and then I had a big heart release and felt better. But I did have that moment where I was like, I could do that. Is that what I'm supposed to do? I feel like those are my people. I've been homeless in my life. Like I have a whole way to help that crew. So maybe that could be it. But that sounds crazy to think I would just go and be like, hi, can I live here and help heal your people?
Okay. Do you want to speak more first, or?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you know, I feel like you're just in a tough situation right now. I feel like there's a lot of people. I'm reading the chats right now. There's been people that's in your scenario where they've been feeling like they're stuck. You know, just kind of like, ah, man, all right, I'm in this situation. Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough one. You know, I believe in those scenarios though, man, I'm not the best at giving relationship advice, but I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. These are the times where you kind of got to go ahead and just perhaps maybe just take a chance in some type of form, way, shape, or form, because you clearly don't seem like you want to stick around, and there's no reasons for you to actually continue to like put yourself in harm's way because of, I would say, man, it's tough because, you know, I've had to grow a lot through home instability, so I understand what it's like to actually feel like, oh man, I'm in a scenario because of this scenario. But once it started to feel like a trap, you know.
Right. And you know, I wouldn't mind staying if I knew I could help him, but I am really at the understanding now with where he is in his life. What he needs is me to leave. He needs to fall and be in his own darkness and find his own light. He's not going to find it if I'm here, because I'm holding him up. And I understand that. And it's sad because he probably will fall apart while I'm gone, but it's like, I'll still come and help with the animals. Like, I don't want to just disappear and be like, yeah, screw you. Like you're on your own. But I understand that if he's ever going to get out of his funk, it's not going to be while I'm here. And that did take a minute for me to come to that realization, because of course I'm like, wait, I could help anyone. And if I could get out of this, I know I could help him. And like my ego kept saying, stay and help him, stay and help him. But that's not how it works, right? Like you've got to find it on your own. So I know that I'm doing him a service by separating. It's just kind of like, do I really like where's the line between what they call inspired action, right, and controlling the situation? Because I really I want it to be magical and like something my higher self is planting. Like, how do you know if I don't know if I connect with mine. I try all the time, but I don't get any kind of hits while it's happening. It'll be like a couple days later and I'm like, well, was that from you or was that really mine? So I'm still like learning all of that. But that's, I guess, my main question is like, how do I know if it's something I'm forcing and then I'm missing this really magical opportunity had I just, you know, waited a week, kind of thing?
Okay, I have a couple things to say. One, I found really interesting about what you just said around him, like basically having to leave him, and that's the best way to be of service. But then also that's also the best way to be of service for yourself. And it sounded like a lot of what you were saying about him kind of going through his fun, going through the darkness and kind of figuring out is also something in which you're experiencing when it comes to your relationship with the unknown. Because what you're explaining is clearly there's a frequency gap in the relationship. Okay, that is completely established. But it's like your field is expanding. It's wanting to now expand in the physical, and his feels more contracted. And that means that you're just not going to be perceiving reality at the same time right now. And that's just it's the frequency base you inverse, right? So you can only perceive what it is that you resonate with. And when we talk about lower density consciousness, it cannot fully, I'm hearing perceive, but also support higher density awareness. And it's not because it's less than, it's just that right now he's operating in more of a myopic, narrower bandwidth. So you cannot hear a higher octave. If you think about dogs, they can hear like different frequencies. Dolphins can hear different frequencies than humans. That's basically what's going on right now. And it feels like the more that you're kind of honoring and clearing your own field, the more of those frequencies that you're going to be anchoring in from the higher self. And what I would say when it comes to becoming the higher self in physical form, or to become your higher self in physical form, or become the physical form of your higher self, is what would the highest expression of Angela look like in this current situation? It's not that this has to happen in order for that to happen. It's like you can actually bring that to your current circumstance, and that's the beauty of it. He may not understand it. He could interpret it. There's again a history where he's kind of rejected the things that you're saying, and it's not because you were wrong. It's because that literally two truths can exist simultaneously. He literally just can't see on that level yet.
That and when I tell him I need to leave, he will literally forget I ever said it. Like it's completely leaves his brain. So I feel like it is going to be a shock, even though I've been telling him. He's still, it's not staying in his brain. Like he's just like, nope, that's not.
Oh, so y'all already had this conversation. So he's clear that he's
having it for a while. He's just he's very
okay.
much in denial, and I think that he's on like the brink of realizing maybe things could be different, but he's at the very early stages. And I'm like ready to do a whole bunch of stuff, and I can't do it with him as my partner, because I want a partner that I could share my life with, and I can't share any of it with him now. Obviously, it just falls off, like throwing stuff at him, it just falls off.
When we look at it just from the law of one, you're both expressions that are now in the same field, except for you have very different expressions. And it's like, now it's not about trying to force him to understand. It just comes from stabilizing your own frequency, stabilizing your own intention. There's three things that happen whenever we experience frequency gaps in relationships. One is that they can expand to meet you. It may not be now, it can be later on. We don't really attach to if that's going to happen even within this lifetime. They can stay where they are, or the connection will just naturally shift and evolve. And sometimes you're both growing, but sometimes that looks like different directions. But he has already, when you work with his higher self, the role is that he is the unconscious one right now. Okay, and that there's beauty in that. He's actually assisting you, and it does feel like that is a contract that is, it's on its way out. We can choose at any point in time to dissolve the contract of what this person is here to teach us. And for you in this dynamic specifically, your role was not to shrink. It was to remain fully seen within yourself. You don't need him to see you or to hear you or to him to understand you, because you understand yourself. You see yourself, you hear yourself. And now that's been established, it's like, what is holding you in place now? It's not that you're actually stuck. It's just that you're in between timelines where there's still certain connections in the material plane to the past. It's like a very feminine dynamic, but you're already moving. You're already choosing differently, and you're beginning to step into this new field and anchor this new field around you. So he's holding space for you right now. That's also a way that you can see it. He's not blocking you, and it is in a stabilizing way. So I would say there is a part of you that's not fully committing forward, like right now. like you're ready to fully choose a new timeline, but it feels like you can't step fully forward while there's still something energetically holding you back. So this is getting clear on your decision from, I think I'm going in this direction, to I am going in this direction. Like that intention is kinetic energy when supported with action. So
okay,
that
and I do have two things I'm deciding between, like which direction I want to go. So it's probably that then, like I haven't solidified which way to go.
yeah.
That makes sense.
So I would say like start acting from that new timeline now. Don't necessarily even wait until you feel ready, but move like the version of self that has already chosen it. Like for you, Angela, I think the best thing to do, especially if I find myself at a crossroads like this, is I take myself there quantumly. Like you can time travel into both outcomes and just be seated. Take yourself there visually, take yourself there emotionally, energetically, arrive there before you arrive on the physical. You can arrive there quantumly and etherically, and then anchor that feeling, anchor that knowing, that sensation back into the present moment, and then act upon that information. That's like quantum time travel right there. So which one, I would say, which one feels like it's you leaning into your highest excitement? Which one feels like it is in alignment with your highest expression? And that environment is gonna it's gonna reflect what your next step should be. And naturally, like you're gonna, people are gonna gravitate towards you operating in that frequency.
Okay.
That is like a dynamic that belongs to your past self. That's what I would say. It's like, and it's not that this person is separate from you. It's just a version of your field, and he's a reference point for what it is that you've been outgrowing. It's like you've learned the lessons. He's still actually holding space for you. You're able to. I think Mo was speaking about this. Like I think we were speaking about this, Mo, when it comes to working with the higher self of another individual.
Yeah. I've had to do that plenty of times. Many scenarios where I've had to literally, have conversation with the higher self and kind of just get some remedy and not really plead with them, but just kind of like, hey, this is what's going on. Perhaps relay this to your, to your avatar, so we can actually begin to, create some type of coherence and unity and harmony. And it's worked. It's worked at times, and then there's times where I've had to literally go my separate way because it's just what it is. You get in a tough situation, though. I get it. It would be unfair for me to be like, just leave without having nowhere to go and nowhere to stay. But the fact that you've made a decision that you're leaving, I believe everything is going to line up for you properly.
Right. Like I don't feel trapped. I don't feel stuck. I really just feel like, okay, what's next? Like I understand something's coming. There's going to be a way out. It's just, I don't know where it is. I don't know how long it's going to be. And like the coping with the in-between is very strange. And I can tell like reality is morphing. I realized like a couple weeks ago that when I take my glasses off, I can see plasma. And when I do mushrooms, it changes into things. And so I've been having a lot of fun with that and like I'm like, there's got to be more to this. So that's that's like my hobby for now.
I literally, just before hopping on this live, right, I just did a message about plasma, and I was speaking about it being a subtle field. So it's a carrier of information, and it's a living medium response. So it's like you send an intention out into the quantum field, right? You send a very specific transmission, and what you emit is encoded as vibration. It's a signal, it's a frequency, and then that code is sent into the ether, and the ether responds to you, and it reorganizes the same frequency, and the ether responds to you through matter. It responds to you through experience, through this conversation.
Be able to control it then, because I've been trying to control it, and it's like I haven't figured out how to yet. Like right now, when I do see things, it goes really, really fast for one. So I don't even have time to write it down to try to go back later and figure it out. Most of the time, it's just like, I feel like it's one of those things, like my third eye's been trying to open, and it'll open every once in a while, and I just get flooded with a bunch of stuff. And I feel like it's one of those things that once you get used to it, maybe it'll start to make more sense. Like, have to exercise the muscle in a sense.
Yeah, definitely. It's just exercising your intuition and just trusting yourself. Usually it's just the first thing that comes up. It's like the universe is always speaking to us through everything around us. And the moment that we don't see ourselves as separate, as the message, as the symbol, as the opportunity, as the people, like we are all one. There's only an illusion of separation in this realm. So I just feel like for you in general, like you've come to a place where now that decision is almost like waiting to be honored. You've already chosen to move forward, and it's okay to kind of appreciate your, like, where you are right now, like appreciate being in this moment and even in this in between timelines, because it's something that we often want to kind of like move through. But when we sit in that discomfort, really, we find so much relief on the other side. You're not going to be where you are again, at least not in the way in which you're experiencing it. So it's okay to just appreciate the way that life is holding you right now, that the earth is holding you, that another version of yourself is literally holding space for you in the physical, with and not feel like you have to stay there and you don't need to force anything, but just start moving with the version of you that said, okay, this is okay. I'm being held in this space. I know that it's time to go. Well, I'm going to be showing myself the way through everything around me. It's like there is a door, and I know that you can feel it. That's already, it's opening in the field. And in the moment that you just choose your yourself fully, you'll begin organizing your life around that. It's like reality begins responding to you saying, okay, I'm ready. I am going in this direction. So I feel the choice is what collapses the timeline instantaneously. And once you choose and almost like, I want to say, devote that to yourself, like I choose this, there's almost an ease that washes over you, even if you don't know how that's going to happen. That's all the quantum. But you know, that's what I'm open to experience next. And this is what I actually remember experiencing. I'm just walking myself back in a linear fashion to witness the becoming of an event that has already come to be. Then it's like we're not just like waiting or looking for anything outside of ourselves, but it just comes from this innate knowing. And I know that you're already seated here. It's like you're already in that.
Okay. Yeah, I have so many ideas. So I get what you're saying. I have a final choice that I need to make, and then I'll be ready to go. And I'm ready because this cocoon phase is over.
Yeah.
My wings are drying out. That's what I keep telling myself. My wings are still dry. I'm not ready yet.
That's dope. I can't wait to hear how it turns out for you, because in the end, this circumstance that you were in, having a place to stay, that was the phase that you needed. You needed that sort of security in order for you to be in a phase of the hermit phase until you was ready to get out of it anyway. So
yeah, I mean, that's what a lot of people are missing, right? A lot of people that are going through a life transformation, they can't just stop and go inward and take time. Like you've got to find another job right away, and you've got to do this right away. And so I'm very grateful that it's been almost a year. I quit my job it has been a year. It was last March. So not needing to work and being able to relax and figure out all of my stuff, he's been a blessing the whole time. And it was funny because it was the day after I told him our relationship is pretty much not the same. It can change, but it's done. And it was like the nicest way I could break up possible. The next day, he bought me a brand new computer. It was like a few days after Valentine's Day. And I was just like, I just looked at him and I was just like, okay, he's treating myself the way I would treat myself. Like I'm just because the relationship is changing does not mean it needs to be this big, ugly mess. Like some breakups are. Like I've had bad breakups, but they don't need to be that way. Like they could be civil and you could still care about someone and want good things for them and just have it look different. So
yeah,
I just wanted to share that. That was a good reflection when that happened. It was strange at first. I was like, wow, okay, thanks.
I think what you're doing is anchoring like your future into the present moment. And that's such a beautiful place to be, because it's not like whenever I film between timelines, I remind myself it's not what I'm running from and what it is that I know I've clearly outgrown, but instead it's what I'm actually running towards. And it's and it's not even that you're running towards it, because there's only an illusion of separation between you and that thing. It's already entangled with you. Like you are it already. And when you can create from that space, it's like you're actually calling that in. You're anchoring that in through your everyday present actions. And like you are embodying the path. Like you are the path. You've already Like,
I've
you
been doing
are-
it my whole life. Like, funny
Yeah.
story, the first time I did what you're saying, like my first quantum leap, without really knowing that's what it was, when I was 12, and it was a sad reason, but that was when I did my first life transformation. I basically had to start to take care of my younger sister and my mother. And so I wasn't allowed to be a child anymore. So I literally made everybody, I changed my name. I said, you can't call me that. I do not play with those toys. I do not do this. And I just grew 6.
Oh, the connection's cut out. Has it cut out for you as well, Mo?
Yeah, she super froze.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you, Angela. That's everything exactly as it needed to. That's beautiful. So I'm sure there's so many people in the live chat that have been experiencing that in one way or another, whether that be in a relationship, whether that's in a job, whether that's in an environment that you are. There's almost like an internal shift that's needed fast. Should we have a couple people back here. I kind of want to bring high frequency TV fast up, and then we'll bring Joe up as well.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
What's up, guys?
Yo,
What's up?
yo, what up? What up? What's good?
I'm just cooling, just hearing her story, and I feel like we can all relate to the whole relationship stuff as far as being high frequency or just the 5D or just the awareness state while being in a relationship with somebody who might not understand this whole other energetic side of things. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm just backstage vibing, just seeing. I'm not too familiar with this whole full moon is about, but every time there's a full moon, I definitely feel different energetic shifts, and energy is always lit. So I just draw inspiration from it, honestly. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Hello.
It's a little bit low because we hear more of the background.
Okay, how about now? Can you hear me better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can definitely hear you.
So yeah, I'm just drawing inspiration from all the positive energy. I've just been experiencing positive energy lately, honestly. Yeah.
Love to hear it.
It's positive, bro.
Yeah.
It's positive.
Word. So,
Appreciate you, bro.
yeah. Oh well, actually, I was listening to her story. The lady before me, Angela, is ironic because I had a female friend who her name was Angelica, and I just had to take a leap of faith. Everything was inevitable, whatever. Like, everything was just confirmation that I outgrew the relationship or whatever it was, and it gave that person also the ability or the opportunity to grow with me, but they didn't. So just external carnal things that people just stuck with psychology, things that people need to grow within themselves so they could grow. Sometimes you got to focus on your growth and your healing because life is just you just got to grow. You're born by yourself, so
Yeah, and I think that's such an important topic that Angela did bring up, because we are not bound to any contracts, to anything or anyone. We are not bound, and we can choose to depart or dissolve these contracts. And actually, reality is far more malleable than what it is that we've been taught to believe. And that's such an interesting topic to sit with, because it goes against a lot of societal, conditioning that we have been conditioned to stay, that we've been conditioned to try to control or to dim ourselves or reduce ourselves or stay as a very certain octave when there are other octaves that also want to be expressed. I feel like it's just honoring part of the soul's journey when it comes to those transitions and allowing ourselves to move through the system with that sense of fluidity. So yeah, it's very interesting. And it's very interesting that this was all brought up during the Libra full moon as well, because that was also the theme for it. But yeah, thank you for coming on.
Oh yeah, no problem. Also, as when I disconnected from that relationship, doors just started opening for me. It's just like confirmation, like for honoring yourself. Like you were just saying, like when you honor yourself, I feel like that sends a signal out there. It's like, oh, you finally, it was not like too literal like that, but it's just like it's like an energetic, like a response to your decision to just honoring yourself, because you could know what you need to do, but once you embody that and you're in that fulfillment mode, it's like life just reflects that internal state, and it's like doors just open. I don't know, it's just a vibe.
That's encouraging, bro.
Yeah, but yeah.
Man, we appreciate you sharing that, man, because a lot of people need to know that, because a lot of people are afraid to make those next steps, not knowing that doors will open for them. I feel like it's inevitable. Once you replace something with something, once you remove yourself from something, it has to be replaced with something. It might take a little longer. It might take tomorrow. It might take 2 minutes, but either way, it will be replaced. But you said, you really do have to honor yourself and make those choices.
The thing is, nothing is ever eliminated in this system. It's like energy is only transformed, right? So that energy, it will circle back around in another medium, something that is supportive of that octave or that frequency in which you're now actually embodying. So it's beautiful. Like when you close one door, well, 10 other doors open. When you close out one timeline, you'll have a plethora of others that are now you're able to access, because you're not standing behind the other door. It's like you've opened, you've burst that one wide open, and you're able to see what's on the other side. So it's really beautiful to actually see yourself go through those transitions. And it's so interesting that the first topic that's brought up is relationships, because that's very much the Libra full moon. I even put out a message today talking about Aries being the self-identity and Libra is like the relational identity, and they're not opposites when we view it from the law of one, but they're the same consciousness viewing itself from two different positions. So where you still perceiving separation in partnerships, it's about the mirror of you and the other, where you're not controlling the experience, but instead you start observing the experience. You start observing how reality is reflecting you. Sometimes it's just reflecting how much we choose to tolerate things, how connections are responding to you. Do you keep reinforcing the same expectations? Because the whole nucleus of a family thing is we draw in people in this experience through resonant wounds. And once we begin to see those wounds reflected in another individual and we actually integrate and heal that, well, you begin no longer mirroring the same wound. You begin mirroring a different example of what it is to be whole and healed within the self. So if you attract a partnership based off of lack of connection within the self, and you see that mirrored within another karmic partnership of, oh, this person is actually really disconnected from themselves in this system, and you begin connecting with yourself, well, now you're no longer mirroring, okay, what is it like to be disconnected from the self? You now have cultivated different kind of relationship, and then you begin to reinforce different expectations from the natural resonance of the attraction, right? Or the connection. So those networks begin to break down, and simultaneously new nucleus of a family open up. So there's new timelines of experiences. So yeah, it's like the whole nucleus of a family essence.
Yeah, that's ultimately the lesson I feel I learned out of the whole relationship dynamic thing. Just the whole my bad, I had like a brain fart, but just what you were saying at the end, do you see those lessons being reflected towards you? And that's the ultimate lesson. Like dang, I had a brain fart, I'm sorry.
It's all good, bro.
Oh yeah, but when you come from a healed place, definitely. When you heal and you come from a real healed place, you notice that everything that you reflect back is just people that are kind of like healed and like in harmony with themselves and stuff like that. But when you're like in a low vibration or you're not healed, you attract people that are literally in that same state or difficult, and you even have more tolerance to the toxic behavior. But when you're really like in a healed state, it's like you just kind of like reflect other people that are kind of like breezing through life and just smiling and just, I don't know, it's different when I'm in a healed place. I'm in a healed place now, and I notice the difference of people that I see and attract and all of that stuff. So
that's a good point, bro. That's
I
really
feel like
good
that's
point.
the ultimate lesson that I learned out of being in a relationship. The difference between coming from a healed place, for sure.
Perhaps our healing journey isn't always about us just being able to heal, so we're not just I'm healed. Perhaps it's so that you said that we can be able to help compassion for those people who are literally still going through certain dark nights of the soul.
Definitely that.
Yeah, and from a spiritual lens, the Sabian symbol is children blowing bubbles for the Libra full moon, right? And this is about you watching your relationships the same way that a child watches a bubble, like the same way that a child looks at life on Earth, where you're in awe with it, you're engaged within the partnership, and you're experiencing it. But at the same time, you know that the partnership is never solid, right? That will it's a wave it's an expression of souls that will then merge again with the infinite field. And if we can begin to see people like that in our lives, we can have so much almost fun in the current dynamic, no matter what it may be, if we can see it through the lens of play rather than me versus the other, or this is myself versus the other. Instead, it's like there is no other, it's only me and another extension or expression of myself. So we're all learning what that looks like. What does it look like to see what another person may be reflecting within you? Can we see these partnerships as beautiful, but also not permanent in form? Because that's what it's showing us. Yeah.
Yeah. Just stay away from wicked individuals, for sure, and just stay where the love is at. Stay where the love is at. Yeah, I know. We're all God's consciousness, having an expression in physical, human vessels separately, but we're all from the same ocean of the same consciousness. But some people are not aware of that, so they choose to act from a carnal state, and most of the time wicked. So it's like once you no longer see, like, it's not a reflection of you, it's just kind of like residue from from where you came from and where you grew from. I came from a real, like, low vibrational place, toxic, it was negative. Like, so I came from a place of having to heal myself, and just like I had a lot of energetic residue in individuals and things like that. So when I started healing, that compassion and all that stuff, like, you want to, like, keep being there, but I just learned how to just love from afar, unconditional love, of course, but it just drags you down. It's just a tsunami and stuff, and it reminds me of that verse from the Bible, like Jesus, his mom was like, "What are you doing? Where are you at?" They were looking for him, and then when they find him, he's like with a random group of people, and he's like, "Oh, my family is those who really honor the Lord or honor God, for real, that's his family." So it's just like, that's your real family, those who, like, collectively embody that state of love, genuine love. Like, but if you came from a place where there's, like, wickedness, even though you're blood relative, you still have that grace for them as humans, and God having it as a physical expression individually, but not to the detriment of yourself and your soul's evolution.
Yeah, I mean, that's energetic hygiene in general, where we see low vibrational people as really just consciousness that's still contracted. There's a lot of belief systems that distort and distort and the way that a light being sees himself. And it doesn't mean that they're beneath you, it's just that they're operating from a narrow field, a myopic lens. And we know because we were also operating in that place. So it's beautiful what you said about unconditional love, because that's just unconditionally accepting, okay, this is the plane of consciousness that this individual's operating on. I know that plane very well because I've also experienced it. And it's not about their limitation, because we're all infinite potential and we're all fractals of infinite potential, but it's just that infinite potential is still laying dormant. It's yet to be remembered, and it's a representation of the level of awareness that they currently hold, and that can always change, that can always shift. So can you recognize whether you're aligned with the frequency? Compassion is understanding the contraction within them, but then also your clarity is choosing whether you want to engage with it, how you engage with it. And that's just part of energetic hygiene. And if when you do engage, because sometimes, again, when we're speaking about family, when you do engage, do you allow that to disrupt your internal, relationship with yourself, or do you just see it clearly for what it is?
Yeah, I think definitely that would just not letting it affect you anymore any longer, but also acting on those impulses of love, even though it's like, oh, every time I express love I always get shut down or this and that. Just keep expressing that love, because at the end of the day, it's only going to hurt you when it's to the detriment of anything, or when it's all said and done, whatever. We never know if tomorrow is promised or not. Hopefully we have thousands of days, but we never know if tomorrow is, so all we have is today and now. So the best thing you can always do is genuinely express that love for sure. And even if you don't get it back or it gets manipulated in some way, at least within you did that, and you did that healing for yourself here. And I think that's like kind of like mostly what I'm learning, at least these last 2-3 days, just genuinely doing that forgiveness and that love, just acting on it, because worst case scenarios or whatever, you'll be the one that will be hurt, or just, you know, perceptions change, and just things change after it's all said and done, you know. So I don't know, I've been learning to just expressing that love, because if you withhold that love that you feel just because, you know, it's like it only hurts you in the long term, because you're gonna wish you expressed that love, you know. So just not oscillating or keeping your love just because it's not received, or just because it gets, you know, I don't know, just acting on it, and then that's fulfillment. You know, you won't have any regrets when it's all said and done, because you acted on that love. So.
Yeah, love is ultimately a state of awareness, and yeah, that's really, really beautiful. It's you know, the love in which we withhold is the pain that we've carried from lifetime to lifetime, and you get to honor that now, and what that looks like in relationship, not just to yourself, but also how you extend that connection that you have to yourself to also others, that awareness that you have of yourself, and how aware you are of your interconnectedness within the system. What would you say, Mo, when it comes to how you've dealt with that in your life in general, with family or friends or partnerships?
I just feel like it's always been sort of natural for me to just allow myself to be in you know, just in a vibration of love for the most part. You know, I don't know, ever since I was younger, I've always had opportunity to choose which one I, you know, chose to come from, and I've always chosen that, because for me personally, I'm just grateful that I've had this thing about myself where I'm just like, damn, I never want to ever regret when I could have had a moment to be of service in that regards when it comes to being able to show love. Because I have a friend right now, you know, and one of the things we talk about is, he's like, man, how do you make good decisions? You know what I'm saying? How do you know what I'm saying? In tough scenarios where, you know, you can either choose to be wrathful or show compassion or love. He's like, how do you make good choices? I basically said, I never want to sit with my choice later on and knowing I could have made a higher choice than I made. You know what I'm saying? I just don't want to regret it. And not to say that the love isn't real. It's just the fact that it bothers me that much knowing that I could have chose to be, you know, compassionate versus, you know, cussing somebody out, because in the end, that's not going to help them. It's not going to help me. And it's for sure not going to help the vibrational field that we're currently sharing here in this world. So it made it a lot easier for me, even with my family now. You know, I found myself in a unique scenario where, you know, my mom, my sister, and well, mainly my mom, my sister are the two people I'm closest with, how they're, you know, pretty much how I would say I was meant to kind of break away from them, but at the same time, we still close, if that makes any sense. So it's like, you know, they were heavy in Christianity. I believe that, you know, our family members are karmic relationships in many ways. So the mere fact that, you know, me and my sisters, and we get along pretty well, and, you know, we coexist at this present time, it's a very, very unique scenario to be in. But I know that it occurs because I've actively chose to continue to keep the love going, although they might not necessarily be feeling my level of spirituality and where I'm at, just because I'm not in a church or super religious like that. But the fact of the matter is that I'm still showing them brotherly love and son love. Is still coexist in ways that, because I was proactive about it and I made it a point to continue to love my peoples, although we don't necessarily see eye to eye when it comes to our religious beliefs. So for me, it's always going to boil down to what you said, my guy, is like knowing that tomorrow ain't promised, and knowing that if I'm doing a life review, I get a chance to, were you still loving in spite of? And I think this is what a lot of this is going to always boil down to. Can we love in spite of? I thought about, that sounds like a book title, you know what I mean? Love in spite of, you know, and we can just bang on so many scenarios where we could still choose love, although the scenario is really showing us where we can actually choose another. But, you know, that's how I pretty much approach it at this point, because ain't no other ways around it, unless my life is in danger.
Yeah, and not even can we love in spite of, and can we love because of it as well? Especially because of it. That's so interesting. And there was another thing when you were speaking that helped me remember what it is that I would tune in into, and what I still do tune into when dealing with any kind of partnership outside of myself, is everyone, every single being is an organism of consciousness going through their own journey of evolution. And the more that we remember that, the more that we can hold space and really just honor that process in the ways in which the soul is, choosing consciously or unconsciously to experience that source is choosing to experience itself through that subjective lens. And when we see that, and we see the beauty and the contrast that we get to experience in this plane, there is so much beauty in that unique design. There's so much beauty in operating in certain wavelengths and experiencing certain timelines that you wouldn't be able to without operating within that plane of consciousness. And that comes with its own, unique set of lessons and experiences. So there's beauty in that contrast, for sure.
Yeah, it's funny when you finally heal and you're at that fulfilled state. It's crazy because you think you're finally in that happy place, fulfilled, blissful, joyful, and then you have these whole new set of lessons that you didn't even know you need to learn, which is just being familiar with things going good. Finally, you know what I'm saying. Usually, things always go left or whatever. So that's like a thought that we would instill in our heads subconsciously or whatever. So when things finally start going good, it's like you get this whole new like nervousness or thinking that it's like a whole new internal thing. I feel like it's kind of like your nervous system or whatever, but just getting familiar with finally being in that state for long periods of times and allow yourself to feel.
You just created a new baseline. I forgot who I learned that from, but basically when you're going through those states, you basically just creating a new baseline for your central nervous system to get used to being in a new space. And you get that little sharp feeling in your stomach even when something good occurs. So I think that if you don't try to change that feeling and you just allow it to be what it is, especially if it's something that's good, let it rock, because that's just basically your system upgrading itself, bro.
Yeah, that is really beautiful with what you just said. There was something else there. When you have self-awareness, you'll be very conscious, and actually you'll figure out very quickly why certain people are rendering or downloading into your third dimensional experience. If you don't have any self-awareness, you'll be very confused why there are certain experiences showing up for you. But when you have self-awareness of the self, you know exactly what you've drawn in through whatever resonance, whether that be a lower timeline of experience. And when I talk about low or higher timelines of experience, both are equally valuable. That doesn't mean that one is more valuable than the other. It's exactly what it is that you need at that stage of your soul's evolution. But you understand what feels more in line with your highest expression and also what may not. And if you don't like the timeline which you've ended up on, you can immediately choose to, okay, there's nothing left to experience here. Okay, I've brought awareness to the situation. I'm just going to close this cycle out and I'm open to something else. And it's like we feel like sometimes because we've made a decision that we have to keep following down that timeline, but if it's not conducive for us and it's just something that doesn't vibrationally sit well with us, well, we can change it like that. And that's the power of being a creator of your reality.
Yeah, definitely. And also, the young woman before me, she was kind of like in a crossroads type of place. And I noticed one thing definitely last year where I was in a crossroads of if I should take this leap of faith or not, from going from like Florida to New York City. It was a big leap. And what kept me like in 3 to 4 months in a state of should I do this shit, should I not do this? When I was younger, it was easy to take these leaps of faith because I wasn't hit with limits yet. But I was like second guessing. I was in a state of indecision for a long period of time. I've never been indecisive for that long. And it was just my brain trying to get in the way of what my heart was already feeling. Like my heart wants to do the passionate stuff, the things that drive me and stuff. But my brain kept trying to do the logical stuff and try to plan things out and things like that. And it's like, just follow that thing that brings out love and just peace, and you feel like fulfilled, just that feeling, that overall energetic feeling. And when you take those steps, it's like life genuinely reflects, like gives you the next steps, and also your brain, like it allows you to put the next pieces together. When I see it like going off of my chest rather than like trying to put the stuff together. We could plan so much, but when you just do the things, just things that make you feel good, like your heart, like following your heart. Like it's like you know the answer in your heart, not in your brain. Like your brain is gonna try to think stuff, but it's like your heart just like feels and knows, you know. And then your brain could try to like put that into words or whatever. But when you're in tune with your heart, it just knows. And if you just trust it, because when you were young, you probably trusted it. But like, I don't know, just trust it and take that first step. It's like the second. It's like you can't see the second step without taking the first step first. Like
Yeah. It's like you don't need to see the whole staircase in order to walk up it. It's like you acting on a feeling before your logical mind fully understands it, and then you discover who you are through the action. It's like your action actually brings clarity.
For sure. For sure.
So
And that, I feel like that's a beautiful place to end out too, because that closes the loop of even Angela's message. I feel like where sometimes taking that action just brings clarity on the next steps moving forward. So it's interesting to see how that intersected.
yeah, for sure. Just do the things that make you feel fulfilled, because also you don't know if tomorrow you might even have that day to take that trip to finally do that new beginning. Like every day is that new beginning. Just do what makes you feel fulfilled.
Right.
You know, like life could just, you know, whatever. So just as long as you're doing that one thing that makes you feel fulfilled today, right now, like, and then the next days will just do that.
That's a good message, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you for coming on.
I was just in the backstage. I didn't think you were gonna bring me on or whatever. I was just.
I don't know. I saw you back there on the last few lives. I think I saw you up there a couple of times. So I was like, I'll bring you up here.
Yeah, I was one live before, but I've been watching your videos ritualistically for like a year and a half or two, and they've given me a lot of clarity. They give me a lot of clarity and stuff because you speak, just from a real energetic place. It's like an overall place, you know. It's like it's just the vibrational lingo. So yeah, yeah. So I just stay in tune. I've gone through shifts and stuff, and you literally reflect. Your readings would reflect like the shit I'm already going through and stuff like that. It's just so funny how it's just like a confirmation, like a collective energy. It's like a phases that we all go through together, and the quantum shifts and all this stuff. Like we all go through some of these things collectively and stuff. And you're like you're just like putting it into a vocal. I don't know. It's like the universe speaking vocally. I don't know, but you're real good at being a instrument and being able to. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate your heartfelt words.
For sure.
Glad to hear that it resonated and that you've been on this journey for so long as well, because it's inspiring for me to see the work that you guys are doing, and also seeing that internal work being reflected in your external reality, and hearing the journey of those choices and the conscious choices that you're able to input into the system, and seeing how that also drastically changes the outcome of the experience. Because we're transforming our relationship with the material realm. We're beginning to have mastery over the physical realm because we first learned to master our internal state of being. So it's beautiful. So thank you so much. I frequency.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you. Keep shining. Thank you for everything that you guys are doing for humanity's consciousness and the elevation of our consciousness. You know, it's just like it's a galactic mission we're all on, and it's you're not forced to do this. You know, you're going out of your way to genuinely share these things and just be a source for light and love, to speak through a physical vessel and just keep consistently helping overall. So it's like, yeah, thank you for being on this light journey and just really feeding us and allowing us that are still like eating baby food, you know, to be able to like, you know, help for like it's I appreciate that for helping humanity, because you know there's very few of us genuine, you know, just love, you know.
That's love, bro.
All right, peace.
Appreciate that. Yeah. Tap in, bro. Yo, hit me on the ground, bro. We go build, bro. Hit me up on Instagram, doggy. My Instagram is right there. You see it?
Yeah, for sure. I make beats, so I don't know if you.
Snap.
So
yeah. I'm into that. I'm into that.
For sure. Love, peace. Sure.
All right, bro.
Bye, TT.
Bye.
Dope. He was super dope.
Yeah, really. I saw him. I recognized his name backstage. I think 1 or 2 times before, and I was like, let's bring him up. But let's bring up OG. real quick.
Retro, what up, though?
What's good, Retro? You're on mute.
I can't hear you.
What's up,
Oh, here.
Retro? What's good, Famo?
Should I leave?
What is that? I know
Hello?
we hear you.
Yeah, we hear you.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Give me. Hold on. Let me leave. I'm gonna leave and rejoin if that's okay. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, that's fine.
Bring back.
Hi, Brendan.
Hey, I just want to thank you guys so much. Like, you guys have no idea what a blessing you are to my life. You, Mo, Shay, everybody, ever since I found your channel. I hope you guys could hear me. You can hear me okay?
Yeah, good.
All right, bet. Just a little bit of my testimony. Raised by two women, mother and grandmother. My grandma passed in 2016. I was on over 25 different psychiatric medications at one point. I'm completely off all of them. This winter, I went into complete hermit mode between me, God, and my angels. And thank God I am off of all those medications. They were making me completely suicidal. You know, I couldn't hold my peace. I was getting angry back and forth, back and forth. I was in a self-sabotaging cycle for at least 12 years. I was locking myself in a room. I wouldn't come out. Panic disorders, severe panic, severe PTSD. And basically right now, like, the situation is like trying to, my father, he was absent in my life. So I'm like the ultimate man child. Me and my mom live together right now. She's going for a procedure tomorrow. And it's difficult, you know. Right now is like that crossroads where it's like, I know I needed to leave the nest, just never had the tools or the resources or the right people around me to get that, you know. I've been backstabbed, mistrusted. I literally consecrated myself and studied the word, intergalactic. I've had multiple astral travels. I've had the female being came to me in deep meditation, and she said, "What are you doing so far out here?" I said, "We need help down here. Please come down here." And they thought I was crazy, and they sent me to the psych ward for like 3 months. But I remember the whole thing. They thought I was in a psychosis, all this stuff. And I actually caught a video of a UAP yesterday, like right outside my house, which is crazy. And I'm so grateful and like so humble that these guides were able to, you know, I was in the depths of despair. All this medication was making me suicidal. I was, I was a mess. I wouldn't get out of bed, curtains closed, everything. The birds were annoying me. Now I greet the day and, I drink some tea and, anybody who's going through mental health challenges on this chat, I'm telling you, I'm a living testament that these doctors said my brain wouldn't recover for 2 years. I was on schizoaffective meds, Prozac, all different medications. So this whole winter, I stopped them one by one, went through withdrawal after withdrawal. One of them was severe hallucination. Right now, I'm living with my mom. She is, I believe, to be an overt narcissist. Everything's oppositional defiance. I love her so much. I don't know how to move forward. I am completely stuck right now. I haven't had a stable job in years. I've basically just been living on food stamps, and I've been blessed by God and just by, just random strangers on the street and soul family like you, Shay, everybody that has been helping me through your videos. And I'm just so grateful that, that I found you guys, because if it wasn't for you guys, like this whole from like fall to winter, like I was like, if it wasn't for, I swear, like everything was like connecting, like the dots were all connecting. Like I was having, I was so like in the depths of despair, and like God brought me out. I had soul death after rebirth, after rebirth, after rebirth. I really believe I was in a karmic cycle with my mother for years. I don't know. She's into like new age and all this you know, other practices that we kind of don't agree with, like Mo was kind of saying about our religious beliefs and different things like that. We still get into fights. I still try and tell her my point of view and different things. And, you know, I was angry for most of my life. I was very, very angry. And I realized I had an epiphany. I'm like, you know, I'm angry with my mom all the time, but I'm taking it out on other people. And I didn't realize that. I was unaware of that for years. And I'm like, okay, I need to protect my peace, like, you know, and just keep moving forward. And, you know, I just wanted to thank you guys, and just whatever you guys have to say. I really just love you guys, and I'm just so grateful for you. So grateful.
Man, thank you so much, bro. For real, dog. Because there's a lot of people that struggle with those same scenarios, man. Like with pharmaceuticals and a lot of people don't make it out of it, bro. So you already know you about to be an inspiration for many people. There's a lot of people on this live right now that you're going to inspire just from your testimony alone. So nobody in this world go through things just for themselves, dog. So it's like the fact that you have a testimony and you talking about it, man. You know, that's a beautiful thing, man. So I appreciate you for overcoming it, and I appreciate you for being here just to share it, because it takes a lot of bravery to even share that type of stuff, dog. You feel me?
Yeah, man. I feel like if I keep it to myself, what's the point of that? It's unconditional love. You know, when I was in the depths of despair, I wrote this rap when I was in deep depression, and I didn't want to write. And I was a rapper. Like when I was younger, I stopped doing it. And then I rapped this rap, and it was like, you got to force yourself to go outside, rebuke those thoughts that are in your mind. Don't play with me, devil. You are out of time. Sit back, relax, and just try to unwind. Built up anger, got me blowing smoke. The pressure's so high, it's getting dizzy, folks. I said my heart feels cold, might need a coat. I don't want to talk. I'm in hermit mode. All suppressed emotions coming to the surface. I don't even know if my brain is working. Been looking for hope, but I'll just keep on searching. Holding on to Jesus because he knows I'm worth it. And like, I'm just been like so joyful these past few days. And like, everything is like, it's like, you know, it happens, you know, some for people, like for me, it took literally 12 years of these medications, just the contradictions of everything. They said it couldn't be done. It couldn't be done. And, you know, by the grace of God, if it wasn't for God and the Galactic Federation and all these archangels and the spirit guides and spirit and just helping me through this, even though, you know, in my darkest hour, you know, and then you guys, it's just amazing, man. And, you know, I just came on to thank you guys. And
you should link with High Frequency, man. Y'all can do a little project together. He made beats. You got the rhymes, man. What y'all doing?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just to put it quite simply, what you're explaining, like, first of all, thank you for being vulnerable and sharing your story, because vulnerability really is a strength and it's a connecting bridge. There are so many people and so many resonant souls who are going to experience with, you know, loads of different aspects of what it is that you've mentioned. And I just want to talk about quickly the importance of the transition in which you've gone through in external medications and becoming your own healer, essentially, and no longer outsourcing that. Because when we speak about, for you, I see like a huge, you know, first of all, thank you for taking on the contracts that you did for your lineage, because that obviously came in through resonance for what your soul wanted to experience. But that was a lot of contraction in the root, and that's a lot of feeling unsafe in the body. And so what happens is that we feel higher in the higher realms. We feel safer in the higher realms. We almost disconnect with this reality. We check out, and then we begin to check in and become disconnected. So I always see like schizophrenia or any other kind of I don't even want to call them mental health. It's more of just like overactive higher centers as not being grounded in the body. There's a sense of dissociation that happens, and you're tuning into your intuitive abilities, but there's a disconnection with the physical world around you. That's essentially what happens. And where your like upbringing affected your sense of safety in a lot of ways. It was quickly showing you what those themes were when it came to that instability, like a narcissistic environment, instability, and not feeling like you had that support from the external. is something that doesn't just live within your mind and your mind experiences, but it's something that stays within your body. And that can show up as feeling unsafe, or like you're being pulled into those higher centers, which is like thinking, escaping, or disconnecting, or going above the body, because that's where it felt safer than what your conditioned environment was. And I feel like the next step is going to be you being called into something that looks very different now. And it's not about you escaping, but just coming back into your body and creating from that place of safety, creating from that place of connection with yourself, and also establishing a different kind of connection with the material physical world, saying, okay, I am actually safe. I can bring that feeling of security into my body. You know, start building small, use consistent kind of stable actions that you can do. Maybe like it looks like supporting yourself physically. Maybe it looks like establishing some kind of routine in your life at this stage, or like income, or learning that safety can be created in the present moment, no matter what it is. And it's not something you have to wait for, because you're learning how to root yourself and your whole ancestral lineage in a way that hasn't been felt before. So it's not just about going higher, but learning to feel safe enough to stay in this world without feeling like, because what you said about the woman, like tuning into the heavy feminine energy while meditation in these deep states, and they were like, well, what are you doing here? It's like, well, you know, it's, I almost saw it as, well, it's time for you to be anchored into the earth now more than ever before, because there is a higher frequency that you're very attuned to. And I just see you being a really powerful conduit. And it's almost like, you know, Brendan, it's time to just be anchored, be fully here. It's not about escaping the world, but seeing through this illusion very clearly. It's like, this is the physical and the non-physical blending.
You're absolutely right. I mean, I've been grounding more than ever, bare feet. I've been in nature, you know, hugging trees. There's a tree in my yard. I've been, I looked up like I'm type O, so it's more like survival instinct. I've been on flight or fight for a very, 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 very long time. I also have an autoimmune disease, which there is a cure. There is an injection called 𝓤𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓽 to try and cure this. I lost a lot of weight in a long period of time. If you heard my full testimony, you wouldn't believe how I'm still standing here. Only by the grace of God is how I'm still alive here. But I've traveled to many planets. In my dreams, I just had a few relatives come to me in a few dreams the past couple of days, and you know, people, you know, I don't know if it was you that said, you know, the lone wolf turning into the sage. I don't know if that was one of your videos, or I think I saw a video of like the lone wolf turning into like a sage or whatever, and then like I found like this shamanic stone at the beach, which is crazy, and a piece of tekatite. I don't know if you know what tekatite is, but it was in Brill. It's I'll show you. Hold on, if I have it here. A piece of tekatite is apparently a I can't find it right now. Oh, here it is. So it was from a meteorite, and I don't know if you know who 𝓤𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓬𝓮 is, which he's like this time traveler, or have knowledge of 𝓤𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓬𝓮. He's a time traveler. So this piece of tekatite landed on a beach in Brill, New Jersey, and it's supposedly from a meteorite from 650,000 years ago that landed. And I found this piece of tekatite, which is like supposedly from a meteor that fell into the ocean and you know, years ago. And then apparently I found this stone, which has all crystals in it, and it's either called the thunder egg, known as the stoic stone. And it was like 1 in a million to find both of these on a beach in Brill, New Jersey. And I like looked it up on ChatGPT. It was crazy. And like it was like God consecrated me in a way where like I'm helping people at the supermarket. I give people words of knowledge, people words of wisdom. I am highly attuned to the Most High. I'm highly attuned to you know, the Word of God, and you know, I was always a hypersensitive empath. It's like you said, just anchoring in my own body, because I always shake. It's like ever since birth, like I had a picture when I was younger, and like my hands were just shaking, and every time I would wake up, and still this happens to this day, I just start trembling and shaking. So, that's when I have to kind of deep breathe, and it's kind of hard to relax my own stomach without consciously bringing myself back to my breath. But that has been very difficult lately. I used to do it like no problem, but under all the stress that I'm under now is kind of making me a little bit more contracted, like you said, in that way. So any advice on that would be much appreciated.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting what you brought up, even when it comes to autoimmune diseases, is because what you've been holding, again, dis-ease in the body starts with the dis-ease in the mind. And what you've been holding on to, first of all, it always starts emotionally. And then that also manifests etherically and energetically, and then that manifests into physical ailments. And that could be like chronic stress, it could be instability, and these kind of patterns. And that's what happens when we stay in survival mode for long durations of time, especially through the lineage. That's just the effect, the karmic effect that you've incarnated into. So your body was trying the best to protect you with the tools that it had, but you're literally being called into that different role, which is not just someone that endures, but someone that learns to work with the body as an alchemist. So that's about you becoming a transduction system. So listening to your body, knowing that, you're learning to turn the things that you've carried into something that now supports you instead of drains you. Bring awareness. So you said there was like a contraction in the stomach, right? So that is...
Yeah. It's always been ever since I'm a kid. So my mom had 6 cats, and the blood levels, I was completely allergic. So I ended up, I got tested when I was 15. It's called eosinophilic esophagitis. It's an allergic autoimmune disease. So I'm allergic to every food but salmon and tuna, pet dander, birch trees, like every allergic thing that you could think of, basically. So I'm going to the doctor on Friday. I lost a lot of weight. I haven't really been able to handle food. This is a really bad time of year for me, especially with the weather now coming. And it's been tough. I've been very, very tired. Trying to push myself the best I can. I know I need a lot of rest, but I still, I've been half asleep basically since I'm 15. I've been severely depressed since I'm 14 years old. What was going on with my mother and my grandmother and different things. And so it's been quite the journey.
For sure. Since we heard it, you mind if I go through an exercise with you guys, like a Vegas reset exercise that I've learned from somebody that it helps me a lot. It helps me to reset my system whenever I'm feeling little, effed up, you know what I'm saying? I just do this. So both your hands, and then right above your collarbone, or right here. So you can just dig right into it, right? I just do this, for about a minute. Right between, you could dig down deep. And there's something about that, bro. It just kind of helps reset the whole entire system. You know what I'm saying? I actually saw somebody talking about it in the chat. And this is something that I've done.
When I was younger, I was 16 years old. I almost lost my tongue. An ex-girlfriend of mine, I was young and naive. I got my tongue pierced. I ended up in the emergency room. I believe I had vagal nerve damage ever since then, with my vagal nerve connecting my stomach, and also with gastroparesis. So I have a problem digesting as well. Also had a sinus surgery in my right sinus. They removed the bone here. They sucked out a cyst that turned hemorrhagic. That was a nightmare. That was tough to get through as well. It's definitely, even my mom mentioned it. She has some gifts and abilities. My family members all do as well. My mom was like, never mention it to anybody, but you know what? Like, if it could help the collective and it could help people, and why hide it? Why hide it?
Yeah.
All right, hold on, Michelle. Somebody's asking. So basically, like right here, the bone, right across.
And just hold it.
And just dig deep. Just allow your fingers to sink into it. At one point, I was doing that every single day. And it was definitely helping me with my system and resetting my system. And definitely look into Qigong, bro. Qigong, definitely for the solar plexus and everything like that. Qigong practices, just look on YouTube, and I do that often, and I do that along with grounding and sun gazing at the same time.
I remember at one point I was doing a lot of Om chanting, which was helping me. I also speak in tongues as well and pray. I noticed that I was shut up for half my life because I was afraid. Like I was scared. Like ever since a child, I've been through shootouts on my street at a young age, knife point, bicycles, a lot of complex stuff that I'm looking into. Going, I need to work through these things. But if I can transmute these things on my own, why should I pay someone to do this for me? It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense. If I can do this research on my own, like I've been doing, and with the help of you guys, like you have no idea how all of you, Shay, everybody, has been like literally spot on with everything, and just like I'm just so grateful. I'm just so grateful. I was never this grateful in my life. Right? I'm grateful for the pain, the joy, everything that I've been through made me that much stronger. And everything that everybody that's on this chat, anything that you're going through, we are born to be overcomers. We are born to overcome this world. We are born. We transmute all this, right? We transmute the pain into pleasure. We transmute it into power. We gain this newfound, once we've gone through the fire, like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, we will never get burned. Our souls are eternal. This is just, we go on, and, whether I have another day left or, another year or however long, I just want to make that difference in people's lives, because I've been stagnant for way too long. I've just been stuck and I don't know, the way to go, because it's I can't even explain it. But you guys probably are picking up on a lot of different things. So
yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing that helps me is to understand what that contraction in your stomach is, because it's not just physical, but it literally is density in your field. And there's a point where life force has been pulled inwards and it's being held from that place. So any kind of contraction in the body, if you have a contraction in the stomach or contraction anywhere, it's stored information. When we talk about the stomach, if you can just close your eyes, Brendan, for a minute, and just feel in the contraction in your stomach.
My stomach is trembling right now.
Do you feel it coming from more of the sacral chakra or the solar plexus? Is it like the upper stomach or the lower?
Yes, I have a hiatal hernia right where, like, it's the upper. It's more of the upper rib cage, like right below the sternum, is where I'm I completely just start shaking uncontrollably.
So that is okay. So the body of Brendan that you've incarnated into in the avatar, okay, and the unprocessed emotion from the ancestral memory, where the field has like contraction and contracted instead of expanded, and in the body it holds that tightness. It's literally telling you what the ancestral theme is in this lifetime that you're working through, like the main one. And in the solar plexus, that is going to be themes of distrust. It's going to be themes of betrayal. It's going to be themes of resentment. It's going to be themes of your power, your identity, your choice. So if there's been like instability or control or even emotional unpredictability, then that it doesn't feel fully developed. It doesn't feel fully safe to develop. It doesn't feel like it can develop safely, right? That you can expand beyond a certain identity into the unknown and still
especially in the environment I'm in now is very holding me back, because the energy between my mother and I are completely different, and she triggers me a lot. I learned to hold my peace as much as I can, and since I love her so much, I'm never gonna stop trying. But I know we need to part ways. I was looking into, going into maybe like a crisis unit type setting or something, just to, gather, more of my thoughts and things. And
You know what
Yeah,
it
but-
is for you as well? It's going to be boundaries. The solar
Yes.
plexus is huge boundaries, and when we don't apply those boundaries properly, we can actually end up building resentment, even towards people, where we can overgive or we can try to people please, and so we can
Yeah.
always be in anxiety or hyper alertness.
Yes.
Because we're always worried about how we're going to be perceived or how something's going to be received or how we'll be. So it's where you have felt unsafe to exist as yourself. And that didn't start from you. That is a generational theme. The more that you weave through your ancestral lineage, you'll see that that's been woven into the constructs of just societal engineering as a whole. So that like tightening where that energy is holding place, it's not by you like trying to force confidence, but just rebuilding your sense of safety in your power, like honoring even the small decisions that you make, understanding the boundaries that you keep, and listening to your body and acting on it, where you can trust yourself to navigate this. Because it's not that the solar plexus is weak, it's just that it's been kind of protecting your power because you felt until it felt safe enough for you to hold your own power. It's almost like in many ways you've been denying your own power or feeling like you can only be this version of self, maybe like behind closed doors. And there's something around you owning that full expression that you're being called into instead of dimming that. Right? It's
So,
like
my mom's a Leo, my dad's a Leo. I'm a Cancer on the cusp. I'm on the 20th. God's like, nope, you need a little bit of of the empathy. But you're absolutely right. You're spot on. I noticed more when I'm laying down is more comfortable for me to breathe. I was looking up breathing exercises. Not to it was saying to fully exhale and then just breathe in like 10% and then exhale again and then breathe in, and to like do the diaphragm breathing that way. But yeah, keep going. I'm sorry I cut you off.
No. The breathing is super important, especially to breathe into that contraction. I mean, I can go through a quick exercise even with everyone in the chat if you want to hop into meditation, and we can all work on this together. Yeah?
For sure.
Okay. So get comfortable and let's all close our eyes. And we're going to create a grounding cord down to the center of the earth. This is going to be a long umbilical cord. It can be a tree trunk. It can be anything that feels most real to you. And just fully anchor into the earth. So much so that you can feel as you breathe, the earth breathes through you. Begin to feel Gaia moving through your vessel. You're an extension of her as much as she is an extension of you. Allow this to neutralize your vessel. This is going to immediately bring you into alpha state. Feel yourself and your awareness anchoring deeper and deeper into the body. Now see your multi-dimensional bubble around you. It's going to be a bubble that extends beyond your physical vessel. It's going to be a holographic bubble all the way around you. Just scan the front of it and make sure that there's no holes or tears. Make sure you scan below to the right side. That's your masculine when you scan the front and the right. Just close any tears with your awareness, with your intention. It can be as easy or hard as you want it to, but just make sure that there's no leakages or blocks in your field. Your awareness will just alchemize that, and you can scan the back of your body. The bubble on the back is going to be the feminine. And just scan the left side as well until you have this impenetrable bubble around you And you can see it spinning like a vortice. It's running up from the earth, through you, around you, and folding back in on itself like a powerful vortice that you're seated in the center of. This is your torus field. And just take a moment to admire the beautiful, complex geometry that's projected holographically from your being. And just control it with your intent. You can spin it faster and faster, clearing any lingering debris in your field, any ancestral thought forms. And you can send that down your grounding cord to the center of the earth. Allow her to clear you. Now pull up from the center of the earth a powerful green life force. Feel that coming up your grounding cord, up your feet, your calves, your thighs, up your torso, your chest, your arms, your fingers, your neck, your head. And allow that to spin powerfully at the center core of your being in your solar plexus. A powerful green, cooling elixir. And now from source, bring down a beautiful golden light. It's going to be a frequency that you're working with. The universe has chosen this very specific frequency to assist you in alchemizing any debris, anything inside of the vessel. And just mix that with the life force of the earth at your solar plexus, spinning at your center core. You can see that bleeding into the field around you. And just send any lingering debris down to the center of the earth. And now, feel the sensation that arises over the last 24 hours, the last week, the last month. Just feel the strongest sensation. Don't get lost in the event, the person. Just focus solely on where the body is speaking to you. You may feel contraction. And begin to name that sensation, that feeling through an emotion. Begin to observe the avatar that's feeling that emotion. And peel back that emotion and see what's hiding behind that. You'll notice a whole database of memories open up. And just go back to the very first time that you felt that emotion. Where were you? Were you with family? Were you at school? You can go all the way back to your mother's womb. And just walk back into that frame of the first time you ever felt that way. And just notice who's there with you in that frame. What did you feel like you needed most in that moment? Was it to be understood? Was it compassion? Was it to be seen, heard? And just notice if that person was capable of giving that to you. Were they even capable of giving that to themselves? Just step into their shoes. Now begin to give those things to yourself. If you needed love, give yourself love. If you needed compassion, then give that to yourself. This is the moment that you become your own source. If you needed to be seen, then see yourself. And just watch how your expression changes in that scene. Notice how your posture shifts, your breath changes, the scene changes, because you're seeing it through a whole lens, a healed lens. And begin to bring that to the present moment. Notice how the memory shift, the emotions in the current position begin to shift. Your energy field begins to shift. And integrate those fractals across timelines. Notice how your lineage begins to shift. And allow that to anchor back into the body, becoming whole with it once again. And just breathe into whatever contraction you had in the body, and you'll notice that begins to release. You begin to find relief as you breathe into it. Take a deep breath down to the base of your spine. And just hold. And on the out breath, feel yourself becoming lighter and lighter. Now I want you to enter into your crown chakra room and just notice any karmic contracts that you have. They may look like paper contracts on papyruses or stone tablets. These are the lessons that you agreed to learn through suffering and separation. And just use your crown chakra light to dissolve all of the contracts in this room, just neutrally. Just watch them dissolving in front of you as you bring awareness to them. This is you choosing to no longer learn this through separation, distortion, but seeing through the illusion of this system clearly. These have been fulfilled through experiential participation. And some of them you are now choosing as a conscious creator to no longer participate in. Now feel the higher self bleeding into all aspects of your life. You can choose a creative color of your choice, whatever comes up for you fast, and allow that to bleed into the area of health, vitality, wealth, abundance, career, purpose, legacy, family, friends, your relationship with this planet. And just feel your source cord all the way from source through the center column of your body, all the way anchoring to the center of the earth. This is what's powering you into this incarnation. Feel this powerful y-axis and x-axis running through the center column of your body around the entire circumference of the earth. Allow your bubble to expand to the circumference of this planet, this universe, this and many other solar systems. Feel yourself expanding further, brighter, boundless, timeless. And just gently bring your awareness back into the body. And when you open your eyes, feel yourself still grounded, see your multidimensional bubble around you. You'll notice the holographic projection that you're existing in, the illusion of physicality, the world of energy, the experience that you're immersed in. See it for what it truly is and see you for what you truly are. An energy being. We are far more than the stories we tell ourselves. We are far more than the stories we've been told. You extend and branch far beyond the system. Thank you everyone for doing that. I felt myself coming out of my body. I actually had to open my eyes to lead that. I do this a lot, and to have so many of you doing that at the same time, I felt that. I had to really anchor back into this planet a few times. I was like, oh, I'll sit with this one later.
That was something else that actually really helped me. Guided meditations, that was truly amazing. I'm not shaking anymore. Thank God. You know, just that awareness of just having that, you know, to take a step back and just be the observer, like you said, of the things that are going on, and how to fine tune those things to, you know, create more stability within myself. And Mother Gaia, she literally adopted me. I saw like there were 6 ravens that landed on my lawn the other day, which was, it blew my mind. 6 exactly. There were 5 in the tree, and then 1 was on my lawn actually. And then when it was snowing, I live in New York on Long Island, and there were 2 ravens. I was just walking through the school, and I don't know the symbolism of this, but I was the only one walking through the schoolyard. The whole grass was covered in snow, and there were 2 ravens just flying by, and they flew over the field, and then they were flying toward, and then the field was toward the driveway, and there was no snow in it. They were flying toward together, just like birds of a feather. And I'm getting all signs and symbols of different things. And you know, my imagination, for some reason, I feel like has been dormant for a very long time. I feel like when I used to smoke cannabis, it was more active, but I realized that when I was doing that, I wasn't grounded enough, and I would end up in, like you said, like a schizophrenic type psychosis type thing. How do I strengthen my imagination at this point, would you say?
Your imagination is already very strong. A lot of what you've been experiencing when it comes to the really, it's like a muscle that we have to exercise, otherwise it becomes atrophied, right? It begins to kind of waste away. But whatever has come out of coherence can come back into coherence. It's just about trusting the intention. It's more about where you're guiding your imagination, because you're already doing that through your visualization. Like, you already know how to do that. Even when it comes to you've imagined this whole reality to being. When you spoke about the crows, and I don't know what that means, if you can almost, I would say, like, you can do it right now. You can remote view yourself right now. You can remote view Brendan seated in the scene that was seeing the crows and see it from the perspective of the higher self or the oversoul and saying, oh, we're going to render some crows into Brendan's reality because we're trying to show him, right, plasma universe, this symbolism, this message. And you already innately know what it is. With the solar plexus energy, it's going to be trusting yourself to discern that, because it's so much room for interpretation. We're all going to have our exact ways that we interpret it. Like I interpret crows as preparation for change, but that can also mean something different compared, to what the symbols for your higher self and the frequency behind the crow. But you're going to know exactly what that is, right? You spoke about something with the crows. You said something there with
it was actually ravens. They were huge. Yeah, we have a bunch of crows. We feed all the birds like on our front lawn every morning. So like the squirrels come, the animals, like I put some like food on my window. There was like a baby squirrel that was up on my window, and I was literally like talking to him. And I named him like Mr. Fluffle. So I put like little nuts and seeds on my window, and he just climbs on my window for the past couple of days. And, but yeah, I've been seeing a lot of literal ravens. I know they're rare sightings. I saw them multiple times when I'm riding my bike. I'll see them in the tree, and I'm like, "Yep, God, I know you're ahead of me. You go behind me. You're with me. You're omnipresent, omnipotent, everywhere, all the time." I do some. I used to be able to remote view a lot better than what I've been able to now. I do believe I do have a lot of past lives somewhere in multiple different places. I was brought to Atlantis for some reason, or taught or thought. I'm not too sure of the context because it's not really clear to me. But
so Atlantis actually shows us a lot about the masculine. And I've been speaking a lot about this behind the scenes, where Atlantis is where we use the overlogical aspect of ourselves, and then Lemuria was where we were completely in the feminine, and we were completely in other worlds and not really fully in this world fully. So there is like beauty where you have infinite parallel lives. I would say for you, and when it comes to working with the like third eye, the more that you clear these blockages in the physical body, okay, when it comes to the emotions that have been, because emotion is energy emotion, right? We have to remember the basics. Energy emotion wants to go somewhere. It wants to transform. And the more that it stays stuck or rigid in the body, it actually interrupts the flow of life force flowing through us when we have like these blockages or these contractions. So the more that we begin to expand them, we actually naturally recover more of these memories within these dimensional fields. So the more that you do this energy work, I would say the more that you do meditation, becoming more like intuitive or being in tune with like your imagination and these other remote viewing abilities and telekinesis, telepathy, that is like a natural side effect. That's actually gifts of the human already that are accessible to you always. There are just certain blockages in the body that we're clearing. And as we go through that refinement period and we alchemize them, we naturally begin to, you become a transduction system where you transform a lower energy state into a high energy state. And then that frees up so much room for you to really, truly become that conduit. So you're already doing that. Like what you've done today, the more that you sit in meditation like that and just feel into it, intuitive abilities are going to naturally come back online because you're clearing up the highway. You can think about it as like cars in a traffic jam in a highway. It's like you're clearing the ways of life force that allow you to naturally redirect that life force towards the upper dantian. That's what it is. So like
what you're saying with like life force energy, I know it has to do with the spine. I have a lot of spinal issues at this moment. I got spinal stenosis in my lower spine and a lot of herniated discs in my back as well. That causes me to shake. I think that's causing me to shake as well.
And shaking is the body also trying to release trauma, right? So it's like the body is trying to do the best that it can, but literally your physical body, like who was it that came on? I think it was Angela who spoke about this the first time that she came on, and she spoke about her testimony of having a thyroid issues, but that came from throat chakra blockages. and yeah, from the whole lineage. And the more that she began to actually clear that up, she healed the thyroid. So it's like your body is literally telling you what the ancestral theme is. So the more that you clear those blockages in the root chakra, which is all about safety, the sacral chakra is all about your creative life force and the way that you exchange energy in this physical realm. And your solar plexus is like, seems where there's a huge blockage in your stomach, those lower 3 centers. That's what plugs you into the matrix. It's what kind of allows you to experience this physical system. But we can also become so identified with that physical system to the point where all our life force is directed towards the material plane, to the identity that we create here. But when we begin to observe the identity, like we begin to observe Brendan, we begin to observe whatever character we're playing, and we begin to kind of be curious around, why do I have this blockage in my spinal cord, right? That's the whole vagus nerve. Why do I have this blockage in my stomach? Can I begin to explore that? Let's feel into it. And if you can do that from that neutral lens of curiosity and see it as like an experiment of play, like really go into yourself and just take the time to really get to know why this is here, just like you did today. Like, for example, is there anything that you want to share for what that emotion was over the last 24 hours?
It's been more joyful than saying most of my days. Like I said, coming off all of these medications, my nervous system definitely still needs to reset a bit. I'm not 100% still. The blockages with my back, I was a victim of police brutality, and they really screwed up my back about 12 years ago. And ever since then, it's like, it's been really tough. Like I've had like spinal cysts. I'm sure you're aware of like people getting spinal cysts in their back, and or I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but like the blockage, like where to try, like I was so close to do a Kundalini awakening at one point, like so deep into meditation, but I felt my pineal almost literally pop, and now there's like a sphenoid in my right side. There's like a cyst up in here in my sphenoid sinus that's near my pineal. And there's this other guy named Mike De La Roca. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but he's on our everyday lives. He had sinus surgery in his pineal from a blockage, from a cyst, from bringing all that energy from up the spine back to the pineal. And it's just, they want me on like pain medication. I'm hesitant to take it, the 𝓭 on like, they want me to take that too. I do have a predisposition to misuse medication from when I was younger. But now I really feel that it does like calm me down enough to actually function, because I was non-functional before this. So the only medication right now that I'm taking is 𝓭, and then like if need be, I would take the pain medication just as, sparingly, very sparingly. I noticed, I want to live a little bit longer. When I was younger, I would overindulge. Now, I'm obviously more mature, and I realize that, life is not something to play around with. And, these things are very serious. And anyone with addiction issues and stuff, we overcome these things. These things, everyone's saying, oh, for you, once an addict, always an addict. That is not true, my friend. We are new. We are new creations. We are new creations, and that art of self-control and self-discipline and going inward and just.
Even with that, I would say it's about redirection, because we cannot have abstinence and then just leave it as a void. We must fill it with something that we love. That's right. Like the biggest thing that helped me. What would you say about that, Mo?
No, that's 100%. You just can't get rid of one thing. I think we spoke about that earlier when we was talking to Angela in terms of, replacing one thing with the other. Sometimes I can say sometimes, but that void must be filled with something positive, and you have to be absolutely intentional about what you fill it with. You know, you can't wait for life to actually, you know what I mean, replace whatever that is for you. So, you know, getting over addiction is far greater than, I mean, far tougher than people think, because it's something that, like, okay, what are we going to do instead of that? So finding healthier ways to actually live your life and do certain things is 100% key in all aspects of being able to move from you know, one phase to another. You know, even if it's, I mean, it don't even have to be addiction. Like, you know, we spoke about relationships and stuff like that, and or environments, right? So if it's a toxic environment, you know what I mean, what are we going to replace our environment with? You know what I'm saying? Because that time has to be filled with something. So but what I want to say to you, for one, Qigong would be great for you, bro. I'm telling you, look into that. Qigong and sun work. That'd be absolutely phenomenal for you, man. You know, I've had stomach issues for a very long time in my life, and just by me doing, like, you know, Qigong work, man, it's helped me a lot. And
how do you spell that?
Qigong. Let me give you the correct spelling. You know, I don't even spell it. Qigong.
Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you.
Of course. Qigong. That would be spelled.
Yes. Yeah, Qigong is Q-I.
Q-U.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got it right. Q-U-I-G-O-N-G.
Okay.
And then look at Tai Chi as well. These are really exercises, they're energetic exercises that they don't take a toll on your body. You know, they're energetic. They're great with breath work, in conjunction with breath work, sun work. I do this weekly. You know, put my feet in that ground and, you know, get that negative charge with the positive charge with the sun above, and just do the Qigong work, bro. Do that, and I guarantee you're gonna start seeing a big difference in terms of being able to, you know, energetically move things around. You know, because TT talked about it. You know, having energy stuck. You know, so when you know how to start playing with your energy, you can actually move the energy where it won't get stuck in certain places of your body. So therefore, you know, things can start flowing through you a lot smoother.
Like she was saying about my throat chakra, like sometimes I feel like I just need to go into a field and just like scream and just like literally just like scream it all out. And like sometimes I actually do. And actually that actually makes me feel better, to be honest, because I feel like
even with that, sometimes we think that, like, even with addiction, you're not addicted to the thing, but you're addicted to you're seeking the state that it gives you, and that's just your body asking for safety or like a feeling or state with a shortcut, and it slowly disconnects you from yourself. So it's like kind of finding that willpower in like a way where you're processing that unprocessed pain instead of looking externally for somewhere to go. And it's often an unpart of yourself that needs to be met, like the unmet needs internally that are asking to be made whole. And I feel that with what you said, like with the screaming in the field. The other day I was in 𝓭𝓭, which is like a pyramid site, and I had many parallel lives when I was meditating there, of just being like in ceremony and using the throat chakra, and I just started like just in the middle of the pyramid and with everyone there. I didn't care. It was just one of those things where your body needed the release, and as soon as I did that, the energy moved from the throat to the third eye to the crown, and it completed that circuitry. So if we can just honor that without worrying about how we're going to be perceived, then that healing comes from kind of removing almost like a craving. And it's knowing that your body has that form of, you know, intelligence. Like our body is always speaking to us and the things in which we need. And if we can honor it through our physical actions, then that's liberation. We find freedom within that, instead of becoming a victim or labeling ourselves as these through our experiences. But when we see it as an interconnected system that we're existing in, we've seen, okay, this was showing us. Yeah.
My mother always had the victim mentality, like the entitlement and like all that mentality. So all that was like, and then all my great aunts and uncles, my Aunt Marie always worry. Everybody's a worrier, you know, all these different things, and that's something that God is working with me on. Even though I may feel fear, you know, I'm, you know, he's giving me the courage to walk through that fear, even if I am shaking, even if I don't want to go out that door, even if I feel like the sky is falling, I'm going to do it anyway. You know, I've held myself back so long from even, you know, this fear, like when you mentioned, like, what was that thing at birth, or what was, you know, in the meditation, like that feeling was always basically that feeling of like fear and just not being, you know, understood or heard, or being silenced for so long by so many people that I lost the ability to actually advocate for myself and speak for myself, and I kept silent for a very long time. And you know, that screaming in the field, I mean, with that throat chakra, I really think that you know, I live on Long Island in Nassau County, and there's a police station and stuff, so I don't want nobody to call the cops on me if I go into that field. But I asked the security guard, I'm like, can I just, like, you know, I don't know if you're at a break rooms, but like, I was like, I have a TV in my garage that I don't use anymore. Can I just like take a baseball bat to this thing and just like, just go to town? He's like, yeah, sure. Just as long as you pick everything up. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna consider it. But yeah, I've had a lot of anger throughout my life, but you know, like there's no point in staying angry anymore. Like I gotta meet that with love. Like I can't hold on to that emotion anymore. It's just not feasible for where I'm at right now, and I don't want to. And you know, it may come up, it does come up, but you know, I try and like.
That anger can often be even like a self-resentment that we have. Often we feel like we've been like angry towards the world, or angry towards a situation or this person. But when the human condition lifts and we really look at life through the lens of the soul, especially upon like and near-death experiences, or you know, experiences that are even IEDs, yeah, we near death, induced death. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was in a induced coma at one point when I was younger from Xanax, and I went into sleep paralysis. But I pressed the button for the nurse, but I was completely out. But I was in another realm where I was flying around the whole hospital, and I was like literally flying around the room. They were all like, it was all purple and blue and green, and like. But I pressed the button in time. Like I knew I was fading back out. That's when they took the tube out of my throat. This was back in 2017, I believe. And you know, I pressed the button, and she was trying to wake me up, and I wouldn't wake up. But I was in this, like I said, like this quantum, like, you know, like those electric balls, like they get from Spencer's, and it's like all like, you know, like you get, you can touch the ball, and like everything it was just, you know, I've had so many near-death experiences, so many resurrection moments, and I'm just so grateful to be here. And you know, I just got to keep giving myself that motivation and that confidence, you know, and just keep talking to myself in the mirror, and just, you know, uplift myself and encourage myself, like David in the Bible. You know, he had to encourage himself, and you know, talk to myself, and just, you know, love the innermost, the worst parts of me, and just I've been kissing myself in the mirror, and I've been literally doing this because like I've had like issues with that, and like I've been like, I love you regardless. I love you regardless. I love you. Like, you know, and you know, there are a lot of resentments that have been you know, that I've had, but you know, forgiveness is the ultimate you know, that's it.
That's what
you know,
that's what it is. That's what's so hard for people to confront, is the self-forgiveness. Because when we do see, okay, this was an illusion, who was I angry at? I was often just angry at myself for not allowing, you know, the soul to express itself through form in its full totality. Because of these fears, that ultimately is an illusion. So then it's like we see it was never me versus another. It was actually always me.
I was always at war with myself, and everybody told me, like, you're so annoying, like cut it out. Like I was like always like so giddy and like comedy, and like I do a lot of impressions and things, and like everyone's like, you're too much, like Jim Carrey pretty much, basically. So I dulled myself down for so long, and now I'm trying to get back into like that that spark, that, you know, the original blueprint.
Yeah.
Say that one more time. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, love.
No, who you were before the conditioning. That's what you're coming back to, like what you've always been, which is it's like coming back to your childlike state. That is the Libra full moon energy. It's a child blowing bubbles and just experiencing the temporal experience that we're having here. It's like you're experiencing yourself in this avatar, and it's one of many, but it's a temporal experience, this illusion that you're immersed in. So yeah, you're living in your dream. Take agency over it, become lucid within it, and begin to guide it, you know. So
do you think at this time like cannabis would help me like expand my mind, or you think I should stay away from it completely?
I would say trust your own intuition with it. I would say it's really not needed. That's what I would say. I would say it's a time to actually become more grounded. And you let me ask you a question. What do you feel like cannabis would provide for you?
Well, I feel like since I've been waking up on flight or fight, it slows me down enough to like chill. Like instead of being like a rat on a wheel, it's like it slows me down depending on what strain. I really feel it helps me meditate. Like it helps my stomach relax, like that solar plexus. Like if I take like a couple of hits, which I haven't done in months, if I take like 1 or 2 hits at night and I meditate and I go to sleep, like, and I'm able to actually, like my automatic system will actually just start to naturally meditate, and my stomach will stop shaking. And the pain management doctor was like, yeah, you should just be on medical marijuana and this, that, and the third. And you know, there's, you know, I'm just with some of it, there's like an adjustment period. So with certain strains, you know, they can make me quite paranoid. With certain strains or higher THC strains.
What about CBD?
But it does,
because CBD, it wouldn't typically take you out of your body because it's not psychoactive, but it would help you stay in it, and it would still give you the beneficial physical, you know, assistance.
Yes, I've tried CBD. There's a good CBD company. I just haven't had the money for it. It's Ancient Nutrition. It has like turmeric, cinnamon, CBD, and they were like capsules basically. And I was doing that for like 3 months, and it actually really did help. So yeah, I will actually look into that. The psychoactive with the THC, I really feel I need to be grounded in the body at this point.
I would say I'm speaking from personal experience as well when it comes to this. Like the key is still going to be awareness, because there can be an unconscious dependency and a way to avoid doing deeper work when it's used unconsciously. For example, I'm going to take it and then kind of meditate, or I'm going to use it to, you know, regulate instead of escape, or you're pairing it with breath presence and grounded, but that can be a slippery slope, especially because knowing it just sometimes it's a beautiful tool that assists us for certain parts of our journey, but we just vibrationally outgrow it as well. Because I know if there's like a contraction or something that you're doing, it can be easy to just take a hit or two and feel it subside in the physical body. But is it really subsiding, or is there just something that's being suppressed and it's temporarily going away? Because in truth, if you stop taking it and that arises, then there's something deeper going on. It's not that it's curing it, it's that it's giving like a temporary aid for you to work with. Like if you're bringing awareness and working with it in a different kind of way, I feel like taking a step back completely, and then if it did feel aligned, to pair that with awareness exercises that you're already doing, that would just be a complementary factor. But it's not, there's a dependency in, I feel like I need this so that I can do meditation or so that I can bring awareness. It's a very different dynamic when we're utilizing these tools. That would be my advice for it.
Also, like in this environment that I'm in, I know I wouldn't be able to, in this house, I wouldn't be able to, because my clairs go up like tremendously, and it's almost unbearable with the
Yeah.
energy.
It
my
very
career.
much opens your field. And I'll tell you something, when you stop smoking, like when you smoke and then you stop smoking and you're forced to sit with those contractions, it's very different. You realize how much you do just take a toke when you do feel an uncomfortable sensation, or to make it kind of like go away. It's
Right.
like it's very unconscious until you don't have that, and then you're actually reseated with, and it's like, oh wow, that was actually so much more that I was kind of like masking. At least that's how I felt on my own journey.
Right. I noticed like
I would recommend CBD if you were to do anything.
Yeah.
If you were to do anything, I would say CBD, because you don't want to do anything mind altering at this stage. Where based off everything I've got a chance to gather from you, I think mind altering stuff won't be as best for you right now. So I think like CBD would be great.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think that would be too. I think that would be the way. I think that would be good.
Yeah.
They come in gummy too, right? Or because I tried smoking CBD, I couldn't do it. Like it was too harsh for me. Like the regular CBD, like the bud. Since I have an allergic autoimmune thing, it's kind of tricky with these things. But it's crazy because I was in remission when I was smoking weed for 2 years straight. 3 years before that, I wasn't smoking weed, and it actually, what it did was it put me in remission, which was very odd. But now, like, my cells are out of control, and they want me on this injection, 𝓤𝓽, to try and, like, it's a biologic, so it's like an immune modulator, so it'll heal my esophagus and stuff. And I know that smoking anything right now is going to contribute more to like erosive esophagitis, which is basically what I have. So either like maybe liquid forms of CBD or gummies, maybe.
Can I introduce something else as well into your vocabulary? You say a lot of, it's just a neutral observation. I have this, and it's almost like fixated. But if you start introducing just subconsciously, I am healing this, or I'm in alignment with this. Like, for example, I have autoimmune disease, into I'm healing my autoimmune responses that my body is communicating to me from my ancestral lineage. Like, I am more than this. I am more than this body. I am infinite life force that's able to heal this organism. Thank you, body, for telling me what the ancestral contracts are. I am more than this. I heal this body. I have the power to heal this body. I'm actively healing this body through my intention. I can feel it on a cellular level. Life force flows through me, through my flesh, my muscles, my bones, down to the cellular level.
I definitely have to stop. I definitely have to be more mindful.
Start redirecting. Just catch yourself every time and start redirecting it. It makes such a huge difference. It really does.
Yeah. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
No. Well, thank you for coming on. It was a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for having me for so long. I really appreciate you. I love you guys, Mo, you, Shay, everybody. You guys are a blessing to this whole collective, and Source is well pleased with you guys. And just know that you are loved, you're safe, and we're all in it together.
Sure, man.
And likewise. Thank you.
Appreciate you, Brendan. Best of luck, for sure.
You as well. Thank you so much for all the guidance. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
How you doing, Mo?
Oh, good. I love the vulnerability.
Yeah.
I love that he was able to come on here and be vulnerable where he's at in this journey, because not only that's going to be healing for him, but it's also healing for me, because we're all working through certain scenarios in life. So it's just, everything that we hinted on, just covers so much ground, having to build with Brandon alone, we covered a lot of ground in different areas of just really healing ourselves. It's like, because we can heal ourselves. That's for sure. And we have all the help in the world to heal ourselves in terms of being able to tap in with our own inner guidance. Archangel Raphael and whoever else you tend to tap in with. Whether it's Jesus, Buddha. All of these energies are 100% great for us. On top of the tools that we have, even in the Bible talks about it says, I gave you all things that pertain to life and godliness. So we have everything that we need to actually begin to heal ourselves on this journey. And it's encouraging, and I'm happy that we had time to be able to spend with them, because once again, that's what we're here to do.
Yeah, 100%. It reminds me of our fast get together on here, very much so. Should we bring Joseph up, Retro?
Yeah, bring Joe through.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which one?
Hi, Joseph.
Yo, Joe, what up?
What's going on?
You in the mix, bro.
You got it? All right, I'm gonna be right back. Good looks. I'm at work, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What's going on, guys?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, I got time to speak. Yeah, it's cool now.
Yeah, what's the good word, Joe? How you been, bro?
I'm doing good. What's going on? That ain't nothing. Yeah, I'm chilling. Just another day. I like the conversation where everyone was talking about they was speaking. And security. So what's up, bro? My fault. I don't be liking to talk in front of people.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, but back to it before I had to go back inside. I wanted to talk about a couple of things. I mean, unless y'all got a topic that y'all wanted to talk about.
No, I'm sure you've got some things to bring up that are going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I was writing some little notes down on these little 2 pieces of paper. I just grabbed it. I just started writing some stuff down earlier. I got a little busy, but yeah. What I wrote on here, let me see. Basically, what I'm going through right now, it's kind of upgrading the attention span, kind of like through breath work. So every time I get caught up in my head or certain thought loops, I feel like the breath kind of interrupts the energetic kind of vortex. So by me continuing to bring my attention back to my breath, I feel like in doing that over and over repetitiously, my nervous system kind of picks up on it automatically. So now where certain things arise, not that I'm not paying attention to it, I don't give it the care that it deserves, but more so my body can, not just me, but everyone has access to this. It's not just, we all have unique gifts, but it's more so universal, if that makes sense. What was I saying? Oh yeah, back to the breath work. I feel like when you stabilize yourself over and over, your nervous system can automatically do that for you. So now you have spare energy, in your reserves for other things that matter. I feel like a lot of people meditate. I meditate on a daily, but more so it's a different kind of meditation, not one where I sit down. I used to do it like that. I used to be one of them ignorant people that make fun of people that meditate. I'm not even gonna lie. My brother, you be meditating, I make fun of him. I don't know why I did that. It's stupid. But long story short, I feel like through meditation, you can access different levels of consciousness, and not just your own, because you start realizing that you are not just this incarnation, if that makes sense. You are not just the name you were given. You are way more than that. I said what I said. I said the ego is kind of a tool. I wouldn't call it a tool, but more so something that we use to operate in society. So we can step in and out of that, but it's good to know that we are not that, if that makes sense. Because
Yeah,
you know,
100%. It's
it
like
comes with
what
a lot of baggage, and it's up to you if you want to carry that baggage or not. But at the same time, you could like go through the baggage and organize it to your liking, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's one thing that meditation does, is it helps us no longer identify so strongly with the physical realm or these avatars. So it's almost like we immerse ourselves back into the quantum field, back into the 0 point. And that's where true unconditional love emerges, which is really just a state of awareness of ourselves and also this system as a whole. It's like we clear our relationship with the physical realm. So when we do come out of meditation, it's like that level of awareness is able to be sustained as we navigate the world. It's like we can end up like allowing our life to become that walking meditation. That state of awareness is something that we can return to, that inner still sanctuary, even amongst the chaos, the regulation of the nervous system. So it's really like, and breath is the easiest way for us to regulate the nervous system. So it's really beautiful that you brought that up as well. Like the deeper that we meet ourselves, the higher levels of consciousness that we can reach. And it's not necessarily about, you know, leaving the body, but becoming so aware that you're no longer entangled with what it is that you're experiencing. And instead of becoming the experiencer, you end up becoming the observer of that experience.
Yeah, because like I feel like a lot of people mix disassociation with detachment. If that makes sense, like this is like a distinct difference between the two. And I feel like, not that I disassociate with Joseph, more so I'm living side by side with him, using this vessel to operate in this realm, if that makes sense. I don't mean to be talking like this. That's why I had to separate myself real quick, because they don't think, you know, not that I can cuss on here. Not that I give. I'm saying I don't even care, but
Yeah.
I ain't trying to get too crazy. Let me see. I said, like a lot of people be like, when they think about their higher self, like I'm just going through things if y'all don't mind. I said people be like, am I here yet? When really, they just got to take the blindfold off, because you've always been there. I feel like people trick themselves in the illusion of trying to get somewhere, or trying to reach this zero state, or trying to reach this level within them.
Yeah.
But when you take the trying out of the equation and you're just there, it kind of feels different, because you're getting hit with it all at once, and your nervous system is kind of, let's say love, for instance. Love doesn't have to come from a person. It's just a frequency. So if you tell yourself you have all the love, you don't need it from nobody. You know what I'm saying? You could be there for yourself, and in that moment, you will feel this abundant, like, stream of love, or however your mind kind of like imagines it. And some people are not used to all that at once. So that's why you got to keep training yourself and keep simulating it over and over, so that way you kind of anchor those really big emotions coming from whatever you simulate, and you anchor it back in the current moment. And by doing that, like, repetitiously, I feel like your nervous system will see it as regular. Does that make sense? Or
I mean, the thing that you pointed out when it comes to dissociation and detachment is, like, when we dissociate, we begin to leave the body, and we begin to numb, and we disconnect, like, the feeling of being safe. And it's more of a trauma response when we dissociate from the body. It's where we're not fully here. It's like the higher self is not anchored throughout the entire organism. But detachment is like being fully present within a circumstance while not being entangled. So, like, you feel everything, but it doesn't control your internal state of being. So it's like dissociation is like, I need to leave the body or the situation right now so that I can feel safe. And detachment is, you know, I can stay, I can be anchored fully into this experience and still be okay. Like, I don't have to abandon my body. And that awareness isn't escape. It's just presence without over identifying with the circumstance that's happening right now. Yeah.
Yo, it's crazy. Man, I kind of want to go back to what you said earlier. You said something right before when we start talking about meditation. Is like, sometimes, like, the greatest trick that the matrix try to pull on us, dog, is to make it seem like we're not something that we already are, or we're not somewhere. Because even when we talk about like the great split and the earth split, we talking energetically. You know, we simply talking energetically in terms of, you know, the things that we recognize and how we present ourselves in life and the things that will manifest into our world. But to think that we're not already in new earth, new heaven, new earth is kind of crazy when you really think about it. Because it's like, oh, maybe the greatest trick is to make us seem like we're not there, so we can always be chasing something outside of ourselves, and then create this whole level of FOMO. And that's something that came to mind when we start talking about the meditation and you know, trying to like leave the body and this, that, and the other. But in the end, you are, like you said, we are our higher self. We are already where we at. We just got to recognize it and then just, you know, align with it. You know what I'm saying? Because
Kind of like,
all, you feel me?
so like when a butterfly finally like stretches his wings or something. Like it's not used to it yet, but it soon gets used to it about over time. And I feel like the human, it's like I'll call it like, because we are unlimited. We come from the same essence that God is, whatever people want to interpret God is. And I feel like the human is the limiting operating system that we created for fun. So it's like these things, being human ain't so bad. It just it comes with its complications here and there, but the feeling, or we are truly blessed to even feel emotions and be able to even transmute such things, because it kind of like trains us to use these gifts that we were given instead of them being used against us. Because I feel like with our attention lately, I don't really do the statistics, but lately throughout the years, I want to say they or whatever, like TV, social media, has been able to catch a good percentage of our attention. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like we haven't been using it in accordance to like optimizing our human experience, because our attention, like, it's like our life energy. It's like whatever we give attention to, it takes energy. So we don't want to deplete ourselves and feel fatigue at the end of the day when we give attention to things that really don't contribute or add to our essence, if that makes sense. And I don't even know, like sometimes these words be coming out my mouth, but it's like it don't be coming from my brain. Like I don't, you know. Like,
but we completely, you're spot on.
Because a lot of people want like the experience. I say like create it and own it because you deserve it. You can create anything. You can simulate anything. If you can simulate anything within your mind, it's already yours. Because it's the illusion that this world gives us that we need these things outside of us, when truly we don't need anything outside of us. It was meant to, all of this is meant to either grow or basically kind of take our energy. And it's like we have to really be not careful, because we can have fun, but we should be more aware of where our energy goes, because it's at its utmost importance that it's mandatory to keep your energy like hygiene good, if that makes sense. Like if things arise, I wouldn't say run from it, like in your head. Like I keep bringing up the samurai thing. Like if something bad pops up, I don't know, like I don't, I could observe it, but I feel like, what does that do for me? Just observing it, like it'll disappear, but what's the possibility of it coming back? And really, even if I have to like fake it, I could like change it to where it heals me, instead of every time it gets brought up, it makes my emotions go down. Like basically my energy go down. Like because this is honestly, God is beyond like what did I say right here? Hold on. I wrote mad small trying to fit it all on this piece of paper. I feel like God doesn't understand language like earthly things. Like that's all like here on earth. God is above like language. We just use language to either communicate, or we can also use language or words to refine the energy, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's like steering something that doesn't need words, or like but in a beautiful way, because words are not needed where you're going, in a sense.
Mm.
And like lately, I don't know, I've been like, when I'm to myself, I just be feeling like I don't need to talk. Like I feel like when you meditate so much, it gets to a point where you don't need to sit there and tap in. It's more like a state of being that you choose to be in. And it's a choice, really, because yeah, it takes a lot of work to get to it, but really it's your choice. You have, if you put in the work, it becomes like second nature, I guess you could say.
Yeah, that's super true. I be on my motorbike, like still in the meditative state. So it's like, it is a practice. I think meditation is considered a practice. You know, I think most sages and stuff like that, they would actually agree with that. But yeah, you do get to that point where it's like, it's like, hey, it's second nature. Like you be anywhere. You could be in the middle of a crowded, what you may call it, a concert or something. You could still find yourself in a meditative state. And I mean, that's a great state to be in, bro. But it definitely takes work to get there, bro, for sure. I agree with that.
Like, not saying that I'd be constantly at war with myself, because that would be the wrong way to look at life. But I feel like everything that pops up, sometimes if I don't, I have to either like, yeah, it's good to sit with certain things because you learn from certain things, but I feel like certain things aren't needed. Not saying that they're needed, but certain things that pop up, if I ain't put it there, who put it there? So I'm more like, I gotta take, not that I gotta take care of it, but if it's in my energy vicinity, I have to kind of cleanse myself out to operate, because we all operate from source. Source is like love, the highest, frequency, like love. So I feel like we already all there. It's just that I feel like the human that we operate, we get too in tune with what that person has went through.
Right.
And we make it ours instead of it being part of just the experience.
Yeah, we begin to see life through the lens of the higher self or source, experiencing it through our subjective lens. Like, to become your higher self isn't about reaching somewhere else or for something outside of us. It's about embodying what that state of being looks like here. And that's the moment where your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, and your choices match the version of self that you already feel within. It's not something that you become like, it's something that you move as right now, even if it's uncomfortable, like the butterfly reference, like kind of figuring out its wings and what that looks like. Even if it feels unfamiliar, the higher self isn't separate from you. It's just the version of you that operates without that distortion of what it took on as societal engineering and constructs and belief systems. So that might look like choosing yourself without guilt, or acting from a place of just clarity around why you want to do something instead of fear, and just observing that fearful octave. And that's what meditation allows you to do. No longer identify with the fear, become more than just the experiencer, but become the observer of the fear. And then that allows you to hold your energy no matter what, like Mo said, is happening around you. So you don't become it's like you don't just one day become your higher self, but you show up as it right now. And that may just look like, well, what's the highest expression that I can have when I communicate with my family today? What's the highest expression that I can have when I go to work today? Like, what does that look like? And how can I anchor that into the present moment? And that's what it is to become the higher self.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what the meditative state puts you into, for you to even think like that. You know what I'm saying? Even have those type of thoughts like, okay, how can I approach life in the greatest version of myself every single moment? And that right there is your higher self. To have that thought, So I believe meditation and being able to be in a meditative state without having to sit with your eyes closed, but to actually think of that type of scenario is what literally allows your higher self to flow through you. The I am presence, I like to call it your divine, most highest version of yourself to flow through this vessel. When you have those type of thought process, and that's an amazing thought process, and that's something that I want to keep in mind also, just dealing with things daily, and like, okay, how can my actions be the greatest version? How can my actions be beneficial for everybody involved, so to speak? So that right there is a higher self-thought. Ain't no other way around it, you know what I'm saying? So, and however that filter itself through our personalities, the human self, I'm sure it will still trickle down in ways that are beneficial to everybody. So, and that's a beautiful thing when you look at life that way. And I think life work out a lot better when you do think like that, because now you're participating in the game in ways that's like, okay, look at this vessel down here being fully on board with the idea of creating new heaven, new earth, and high vibration, and all of these things that we pride ourselves on in the spiritual community, so to speak.
So
Well said.
I laugh because I don't know, like, not that I laugh because it's funny. More so it's like a laugh for like relief, or like it's coming from a place of like this is just all just a fun game.
Illusion.
Yeah.
Is that an illusion? Wake up, everyone. Wake up.
And
It's
really like,
designed.
yeah, because we feel like we ain't create this, but we did, in a sense. And it's like everything that we think we are, we're not. And then at the same time, how does it go? Like, we are everything and we are nothing.
Simultaneous thing. It's a paradox.
So I'll be sitting there laughing because it's really a funny just paradox that we live in.
Yeah.
And really and truly, like, we shouldn't take there's some things that our vessel goes through, and I wish it could be as simple as snapping our fingers to get us up out of situations. Even there's good people, I truly believe, that shouldn't be in situations that they're in, but everyone has been dealt their cards for a reason. And in those life challenges, it teaches you how to heal certain things, even if it didn't come from this lifetime. It's probably things from previous lifetimes that you have to heal. I don't really know my family like that, but I probably know like there's things that they've done or whatever the case is that I have to step up and kind of like, it's like, if I don't do it, who will? You know, kind of mindset. And it's like, I look at like when I clear myself and when I meditate, or like when I feel like I peaked or whatever the case is, I feel like I ask myself, is that the best like you can do? Kind of like encouraging myself to this can surely be more than what. Yeah, like this is good, but there's surely better. Like, and you can always tell yourself you could do better. Don't feel like you're in a place in your life where it's stagnant, or it may be, but the illusion, it's the illusion of keeping you stuck there, because there's certain things out here that when you wake up, quote unquote wake up, there's certain things that we don't see, and because we don't see it, we feel like it's not real. But they live. These things are on the same plane as us, just on different dimensions. So it's like when you think negatively of yourself, it's kind of like when you think about it, it's like kind of God. It's like when you think about yourself negatively, God thinks about you negatively. Whatever you do to yourself, like if you love yourself, God will love you. If you bless yourself, God will bless you. But I feel like a lot of people kind of let their attention work for them instead of using it. So there's these things that kind of like, I guess you can call them parasites or whatever walks around in the unknown realm. You guys get what I'm saying? Like in the unseen, there's things that I believe that when you're operating at a low level, some people are not aware that they're operating at a low level. Some people are aware of their emotions. Like, yeah, they get mad, they get pissed, or they get sad or whatever. But it's not good to linger in that emotional vibration for too long, because it tends to bring things that are not so catering to your experience. And those things can work against you. Like, I'm not trying to claim like there's ghosts and shit or whatever the case is, but at the same time, I do believe that there's other things that reside here on other dimensions that our physical eyes can't see. And just because we can't see it with our physical eyes doesn't mean it's not real, or real, or quote unquote real to whatever we think real is. But yeah, I believe like if you linger in low vibrations for too long, you attract things that kind of like bring you thoughts that are not yours and make them believe that they're yours. So it's kind of like a game. Like, how can I get this vessel to deplete its own energy instead of me depleting its energy?
Yeah, and that's pretty much the game. Like, what can the Matrix make you do to yourself, basically, in terms of, you feel me? And it's like, and there's a lot of these things. Yeah, man, there's many components that's moving through this game, bro. And there's a lot of unseen things. I believe we only see a small percentage of what's going on around us and through us and stuff like that. So it's like it's always like when we talk about the quote unquote the devil, right? The devil is never doing the thing. It's trying to convince you to do the thing to yourself every time. You know what I'm saying? It's trying to get you to go to these environments and do these things. You know what I'm saying? All it does is set up the baits and the traps. You dig what I'm saying? And if you choose to, go that route, you already know. I mean, there's things that come with it. You know what I'm saying?
You know, crazy Mo. I feel like we're powerful beings, right?
Right.
So how do you take care of something powerful when you can't take care of it? Or let's say like the devil, quote unquote. How can the devil can't destroy you? If you want to, I guess, give it their imagination like it's something outside of yourself or whatever. I feel like everything's internal, but like heaven and hell, all that's internal for me at least. But like I feel like the devil, right? How can you? We're all powerful beings, every single one of us. So how could you destroy if it can't destroy you? How does it get you? Basically, gets you to destroy yourself.
Yeah.
If it can't beat you, it'll have you beat yourself. So it's good that we love ourselves and have that good self-talk, regardless of whatever, because sometimes there's these things floating around that might make us think that these are our thoughts. Like you might feel like that's you talking to you the whole time, like it's convincing you that is you talking to you, and then it gets you in a thought loop where it's like it did its job already. You know what I'm saying? Right. So now you kind of stuck in quicksand. So it's your job to like kind of like, I mean, all of it's in the losing anyway. It's like you really don't need to pull yourself out of quicksand. But if you kind of get my route, like when it comes to like alchemizing certain things, like because sometimes there's no need to alchemize anything. Just let things be.
The thing is, once you bring awareness to it, it naturally alchemizes anyway. It's like it instantaneously just neutralizes it the moment that we no longer like try to fight it or reject it, but we actually hopefully say, okay, I fully accept this is here. I unconditionally love that this is here. It's like you don't fight the thought, you observe it. And the moment that you see it clearly, you break any kind of identification with it. You stop reinforcing it. So it has nothing to feed off of. That's what like parasitic exchanges are in general, because the devil is like not an octave outside of you. It's an octave within you, within your own consciousness. And it operates from that distortion. So it attacks, right? It doesn't really attack. It just feeds on whatever's unconscious within you anyway. So it's just showing you what the unconscious pattern is. And the more that that you feed it, or that you're unconscious to it, the more that it sustains itself. If you can cut off the root, which is to get to the root, which is just unconditional love, like is it love or is it fear, then you remove the fuel through choosing different, like you choose to relate to the thought form differently. And it's like that, it just collapses.
I laugh because sometimes I laugh from a place of love, because it's like the more you get in tune with yourself, the more you know yourself, the same things that affected you don't affect you no more. So when you get to like certain levels, you kind of look back and laugh like, damn, this affected me. It's like I was so unconscious to the fact that I let this affect me. Like, no, like, and then it's like not only so much that, but there's still more levels ahead of us. It's not like we peak and we stay here and it's like, oh, we know everything. Nah, there's so much more. But then there's nothing to seek it over.
You were saying that about the meditation, and I was thinking that's what it is like when meditation begins to bleed into all aspects of your life, where it doesn't just stay with you in the eyes closed. That whole state of awareness bleeds in through every interaction and engagement that you have with this system. It's like that is the beauty of it. And that it's like the longer that you can sustain that and catch yourself every time you do fall asleep and come back and sustain it, it's a continuous exercise. It's like that journey never ends. You never reach this point of enlightenment. You just keep remembering yourself as a light being.
I feel like you
Right.
reset every day. Like every day, it's like a reset.
That's what this really is. There's always a quantum reset going on, and that's the thing we always have to remind ourselves on, because like even the other day I was like, I need to catch up with myself. I felt like I was externalized too much, and I had a lot of things going on, and I said fuck it all. I just cut off my phone and I slept for hours, and everything just seemed to resolve itself when I woke up, bro. And it was almost like, and it was like, and that letting go, recognize like, yo, all right, I got you. All right, I get it. I understand that I've created these scenarios for myself. I understand I got a laundry list of things to work out, but I'm trying to do all this, but I haven't even caught up with me yet. So let me go ahead and reset myself, and then and tap back in, because nothing shakes unless you're ready. Nothing shakes unless you are already. And you know what I'm saying? So you got to get yourself right, man, and reset yourself, because this is a game. So it's like, and every time you play a game, you reset, you put it down, and you come back and play a little bit more swifter. You feel me?
Yeah, I love what you said there, Mo. You said, I've got to catch up with me first. I have all these things to do, but I have to catch up and make sure that I'm good. That's exactly what I'm feeling.
How would those things get done if you're not good?
Yeah.
Bro, and here's the illusion. Ain't nothing bad gonna happen either way.
Yeah.
So what?
It's
Somebody
not-
gotta wait. People make me wait all the time. So it's like, and things still get done. They say that in the Tao. It's like, do nothing and nothing be undone. So at this point, you know what I mean? If I can handle it right away, I will. But if I need to reset myself and get myself in order, you got to wait, baby. It is what it is. Whatever it is.
As well as could I touch up on one more thing before I go up inside? I gotta go back to work before they kill me. They holding it down for me right now. All right, so the same thing in accordance to like that we can attract these negative things to us, right? Or these energetic things that don't resonate with, that don't have physical bodies. We can attract light beings as well. Like I feel like if you are always transmuting and always alchemizing, I do it because I don't really see it as a chore. I see it as something that I just yearn for naturally, to alchemize naturally. Like it just makes me feel good knowing that I could have a bad thought and change it into a good one and keep my vibration stable or keep going up. Like it's like because I know we have our downs and stuff like that, but my goal is to like not that it is a goal. I'm probably using the wrong choice of words here, but more so like always keeping the vibration going up by thinking about loving things or things that make me feel good, or like simulating things within my mind so deeply to the point where it feels real. But because it is real, because your inner world is more real than the outer world itself. Your inner world is what creates the outer world. So for people to sit there and kind of like judge the dreamer, or like make fun of the dreamer, point fingers or whatever, I feel like they're the ones in the dream. I feel like the dreamer's been the one who's been living the real reality. You know what I'm saying? And not for nothing. Before I sidetrack, because I know myself, I stay doing it. Because I can talk about this all day. I feel like this you could bring these things to you, like angelic beings or whatever you want to call them, but these higher vibrational energies that kind of like you're summoning your army. So like when you're thinking about, constantly thinking about good things, regardless of what is going on in your surroundings, you're not playing victim to your environment. You're actually kind of using your environment in like, it's like inversion, more so like you thought your environment was gonna send you bad things. You're using that energy, whether it's bad, and transmuting it into good energy, because energy is still energy. It could still be used regardless if it's good or bad. So using that energy from the things in your environment that are like quote unquote messing with you, you could use that, transmute it, and that energy can be used for attracting things that, yeah, they're from this world, but they're not, I guess. Like they're from another dimension. Yet all dimensions are in this realm. I guess 12 of them, but that's only the spectrum that.
Infinite, but yeah, that's the spectrum in which, like the spectrum in which we perceive most of the time. Like most of us are operating in like 7 or 8. But you're right, like high dimensional beings, angels, spirit guides, like, it's not something that you reach for, it's something that you align with, that's already there. And the way that you meet them is literally just through coherence, because you come into the same bandwidth where you can finally perceive what is always surrounding you anyway. Yeah, so you attract whatever is in resonance. That's just a higher frequency expression of the same field. And from the law of one perspective, they're not separate from you. Like these are expressions and also projections of your own subconscious mind. So when you have that self-awareness, when you have that neutrality and that unconditional presence, you become a resonant match with this higher frequency intelligence.
Absolutely.
It's like,
And that's what yeah, that's what it really is. It's energy signatures that live on a vibrational field. Anybody can tap into it. You know, we have the Akashic records, we have the Holo records, all of these things exist. We have the cloud, everything that ever existed in this reality, we can tap in with just by simply aligning with it, by understanding it, by I mean, you, whatever it is. I mean, look at Bruce Lee. You can, okay, I want to tap in on the Bruce Lee energy based off of his disciplines, based off of everything he put out. His energy still lives on this field. So at any given moment, you can tap in on that vibration and align with his discipline, his focus, and everything that you wanted to pull from, whatever it is. That's why I say people lead by example. So it's like, if that's as above, so below. So it's like, if we leading by example as humans, of course, we can still utilize the vibrations of people that's no longer here and use their energies to actually embody and use for ourselves as well. And they don't even have to be as woo-woo as people may want it to be at times. It can really be the fact that, hey, I know that this is how Kobe got down. That's how I want to get it in. And boom, you embody Kobe's energy or whoever else's energy. So whatever it is, it's like, you can do the same thing with a Hitler. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be on some wild shit. So it's like, it all exists for your use. And that's what I'm saying. That's why this world is so abundant, when we understand that we can utilize all of these vibrations to work for us. And consider these things as what you may call frequencies, or just frequency guides. And then you can, you know, shape and formulate whatever you need to do in life. And some people call it channeling. Some people call it, you know, embodiment, you know, but it's all here for us to use. And just like TT always says, it's about us having that awareness that these things exist for us in the first place, so that we can actually utilize them for the greatest good in our lives right now, because that's what they're here for. We need them to use, because they seeing things, they can see things that we can't, so to speak. If we're talking about luminous energies and such, and I can't get my words out, and so on. Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, because they've been around more than, I mean, we all been around, I guess, the same time since we come from source. So yeah, we all come from the beginning. I feel like those are all things that are accessible to us. Any event that has happened, or anything that has happened on this earth, we all have access to those memories or those feelings. Or once we take care of the humans' baggage, I guess you could say, laundry. Like, I feel like you open up reservoirs within yourself that once you're done, not that you're ever done dealing with yourself, but once you handle a lot of things within that, kind of like the stream, and taking like the rocks out, like once you are able to like handle like the humans' problems, I feel like you have access to way more greater things that once you ain't have access to. I guess you can call it the remembrance. Like, you're remembering at that point that you had always access to these things. It's just that the human vehicle, you were too attached to your human vehicle and what it has went through. Not disregarding what it has went through, because I'm not saying disregard what you went through, like, but sometimes we just get too attached to it that we carry those emotions or those thoughts or those feelings without processing them. And once we process them and sit there with them and take care of these things, we have, like I said, your nervous system gets adjusted and accustomed to doing this automatically. So now where you have extra, I guess you could say, energy to access these beautiful things that always been a part of you.
Yeah, just like TT said earlier, after we got out the meditations, he said, we're not the stories we tell ourselves,
So well said.
But I love this chat. I ain't gonna lie. I gotta go back in. They gonna kill me. And it's raining.
All right, bro.
Have a good show.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah.
Tap in, bro.
Oh, wow. What a beautiful poem. I just remembered the throat chakra was Sarah that said that, not Angela, when we had her on for the thyroid. I just, that came through in the field again. But yeah, mention that. That was really beautiful.
Absolutely.
Ooh.
Always good build coming on and tapping in with people, for sure.
Always. We do have one more in the back room. Should we wait until next time?
Yeah. Let's wait until next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to. I gotta go make some
Thank
moves.
you, levels. I am start. Please come back on again at some point in the future, because now we're heading out, but I'm sure we're gonna have you back up here.
Levels. I am star. What's that? Who's that?
It's a beautiful woman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure we're gonna speak with her when.
Yeah, hopefully we get her next time. Yeah, for sure.
Because we're both. Guys, I'm traveling tomorrow, and today.
You was a trooper tonight. You was a trooper, hey.
Yeah, we were only supposed to come in here for an hour, so.
You already know how that go.
Look at us.
You know how that go.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks everyone who was in the live. Big thank you to Shay, who was in here, for your super chat. She said, I love you, TT and Mo. You guys bring such a beautiful vibe. Thank you for holding space for us all. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for levels. I am 44 as well. Thank you for helping us understand what we are going through and your words and visuals this platform. But thank you so much, my love. I really hope to see you on here at some point. We get to connect and hoot hoot. Mr. Thank you guys so much. Mo, how can the people find you if they want to get in contact with you?
Oh yeah, just follow me on Instagram, MOEAGER, and yeah, tap in if you guys have any questions for me. I'm more than open to working with people and helping people understand themselves more, just as much as I continue to understand myself more in this journey. So just hit me up, and we are here for you, baby.
For sure. Thank you guys. I hope that you have a wonderful full moon in Libra. We'll let you know when we go live again. Hopefully it'll be within the next 2 weeks. And until next time, bye.
Peace.